Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November 2024 wrap up. I'm Tony from Hack the Movies. How are you all doing? Hope you all had a great holiday there. Let's bring in our boys, starting with Gil. What's up,
Hey,
Gil?
usually you bring Joey on first.
Well, Joey might be in the doghouse. We'll get to that. How
Yeah,
you been, Gil? You missed out on the last live episode.
I know. I actually missed it, to be honest with you. I couldn't wait to come back,
It's
and
all
and now I'm here, and I'm like, wait, why did I miss this?
Were you sad that you didn't get to join us for our Joker 2 talk?
Oh man, yeah. I talked about it over on my podcast for about an hour and a half, and I was like, I
Yes.
really don't feel like I've said everything I need to say about this movie yet.
Well, I think we all said a lot about Megalopolis, so when people asked if
Not
that was
yet. I
on
feel
there, I'm
like
like, I think me and Gil covered it.
per Francis Ford Coppola's orders, we have to get together every New Year's Eve and discuss that movie again. Think about
Yes.
the future.
Yes. Hello, Joey C. How are you?
Boys, how are ya? Look at us, a bunch of men getting together.
Are we? Because I have questions for you in a little bit. But we'll get to
Oh,
that. We'll get to that.
okay.
Yes, November wrap up. Off to a bad start, guys. You guys might have seen that the Haktua girl was launching her own meme coin, and I was like, "Wow, what a coincidence!" Because me and Lauren Soda were gonna release Hack Coin. Of course, Lauren is Hacktua as opposed to Haktua. Yeah, we were
That's
all
nice.
excited, but it turns out the hack coin bombed, so I had to cancel, or the Hawk coin bombed, so I had to cancel my hack coin. So unfortunately, Hack the Movies is without a meme coin. I know we're all devastated by this, right, guys?
It seemed
That's
like a
very
very
sad.
solid investment.
I thought it would be really really good, but yeah, she's just scamming her fans out of money. All she cares about is money, guys. Patreon.com/hack the movies. Make sure you go over there and pledge. Congrats to the lucky people who got to do the Hack Friday sale and got 25% off. There's a lot of great stuff over there, guys. Like the new commentary track I did for Silence of the Lambs, featuring Chris Rowan, who we will be playing an interview of later on tonight, the owner of the Buffalo Bill House. He had a lot of insight in the commentary track. Also, Silent Night, Deadly Night episode. You can watch it early right now. Is it the best Santa slasher? It's definitely the most popular. Although Joey C, you're probably a Santa sleigh starring Bill Goldberg guy, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
you'd be right. You'd be right. Classic, absolute classic.
but yeah,
This
you
is the
can.
one where before he kills people, he yells like "Naughty!"
Yep, this
Nice.
is
This
the
is a good
one.
one.
This is the one that actor Mickey Rooney said was offensive and awful, and then he went on to be the killer Santa in part 5. Uh, very consistent over there. But I know what you're thinking, guys. Wow, that commentary track looks very, very appealing. But do I want to be a $5 pledge every month? Good news. You can buy the tracks individually. It's cheaper if you pledge. We should all be pledging. I feel like both of you pledge, right?
Oh, that is
hmm
true. That
I
is
pledged
true.
twice now because I was already
Wow.
pledged, and then you gifted me Patreon. So
That I'm glad, Gil. I'm glad you mentioned gifting patrons. If you know someone who's a fan of the show, but they wasted all their money in Hackcoin and they can't afford the Patreon, you can now gift them a membership. Check it out. Be like, hey, here. I know you lost all your money on the Haktua girl, but now you can listen to Tony and his friends talk about bullshit more than you already do.
yeah, after I lost all my money on that token, if anybody out there wants to buy a Patreon subscription from me that Tony gave me,
What else
Tony,
we got?
turn your mic up.
My mic has to be up.
Yeah. And why was there a photo of me on screen? I
Hold
don't
on.
think I didn't see that. What was that?
Do I sound okay now?
Oh yeah, I just want you louder in my ears. That's what I want.
Did my mic really need to get turned up or no?
It was a little quiet. I'm just saying I like it
We-
louder.
We started late and we talked for 20 minutes and you didn't think to tell me my mic was low.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
That was so you waited for the show to go live? Joey, you're already on my shit list here.
For what?
I'll tell you why. You made me look like an idiot because I see this picture of you at the movie theater. The weekend Gladiator 2 came out.
Whoa.
And I'm like, well, Joey C, very Italian. He's probably there to see Gladiator 2. But then he took a picture in front of these Wicked signs. And then I noticed you didn't mention anything about Gladiator 2. And Adam, in our Gladiator 2 episode, pointed out that you might have seen Wicked?
No. You see, what happened was the slushie and the popcorn was so big, I couldn't hold it any longer. So I had to take the photo exactly where I was standing because, as you can tell, I'm about to drop the popcorn bucket. The Wicked poster just so happened to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought you went and saw Wicked.
No,
I was very upset,
dude,
because I
good
purposely
Lord.
left that off the November wrap up. Because when I found out it was a part 1, I said, no fucking way you're getting me to watch 2 Wicked movies. I'm not doing it. And I'm sorry. We seem to have someone here who told me that they couldn't do the show, and yet they've showed up. Hi, can I help you? And your audio sounds terrible. What are you doing?
Because I'm on my AirPods.
What do you want, Crystal?
Oh, I just wanted to say hello because I thought I just wanted to join for the updates. And I'm waiting to go out, so I thought I'd say hello.
Oh, you're going out. Well, that's great. That's
Yeah, I'm going, fancy art puzzle, in Miami.
Crystal's on my shit list too, guys.
Why am I on your shit list?
Because the other day I went out on a date with a lady. And she said that Crystal was her favorite of the clips that she's seen, and I was like, this isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work. How can Crystal be anyone's favorite? Am I right?
Missing the live episode. That's.
Are you really gonna?
I feel like I'm walking on eggshells
I
because
was
like every
waiting
2
for you to
seconds,
say
like,
something
you're on my
snarky. I
shit
didn't
list.
expect you to
You're
go
on my
sad
shit
mode.
list. I'm also afraid to move
You're
it all
so
because
mean.
I don't know how this soundboard works. It just started doing crickets for no
Yeah,
I
reason.
know.
what
I
the
heard
fuck?
that.
Yeah.
You give me flashbacks to VHS Beyond when me and Joey had to listen to that cricket the whole time.
That was hell.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Crystal, because
Thanks.
some stuff is not on the wrap up. You might have missed some of the. We did a bunch of live episodes last month. We did the Penguin. We did the whole series. And Gil, I think you also did your own recap of the Penguin. Which why did I say I think? I watched it. I know you did.
Yeah. I was impressed. You commented on something that occurred like 2 hours into the podcast. So I'm like, he watched a good deal of that episode.
I did. I watched the whole thing.
Wow.
I always listen to the
good.
One Take podcast.
Oh my goodness.
The Megalopolis episode is my favorite. I listened to it 9 times. We also did The Substance with Kaylee. And
I'm pissed that you guys, it was
My
with
bad.
Kaylee. No, it's not just about the movie. It's about Kaylee.
What?
I love Kaylee.
Oh. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm pretty sure this thumbnail got me yellow monetization for sexual content. I know.
That's hilarious.
It's so stupid.
Really?
And then me and Adam did Gladiator 2. That's a very real scene from Gladiator 2 right there. It's very real. It's actually not that far off.
No, it really isn't, honestly. Because I saw it, Tony. Because I did see it.
You did see it. You did see
Yeah.
it. It's weird. I texted you. I said, Joey, what did you think about the monkeys in the movie? And you said it was cool when they flew, and I didn't know what you were talking about. Flying monkeys. I don't understand.
No, yeah. It's not very
You
manly.
must have misspoke. You must have misspoke.
I did. Yeah, my fingers are sometimes a little too tiny for the buttons on the phone. As you could tell from the size of the popcorn bucket in the previous slide.
That was actually a
By the
small
way,
popcorn.
Joey, how big is that fucking popcorn?
It's so
The thing
big,
is,
dude. And
it has to be
I got a
ginormous.
free refill.
What
So
what
we're
is this?
good.
What phone was this taken on? You're not. I mean, you're tiny, but you're not that tiny. This looks like some trick photography.
Tony,
That's
that is
my
so
actual
rude.
size.
He is the largest, manliest man that ever existed. So that is
Oh.
clearly a giant's popcorn bucket
You're
because he is the manliest of man.
fuck
Okay.
yeah.
I thought.
So right.
I thought for a minute. I thought it was a picture of Kid Osborne. I couldn't believe it.
You're gonna
No,
get
you'd be
me
a little.
beat up.
You'd be smaller. A
Oh,
little smaller.
so the Silent Night, Deadly Night episode is with Tim, but Kit Osborne makes an appearance in it. And definitely not a small cardboard puppet of Kit. It's definitely the real Kit. By the way, Joey C, you got a cardboard puppet for you.
Oh, beautiful.
I gotta
That's how
send
you
a
know
picture of
you've
it.
made it.
That's how you know even when Jason Down makes you a cardboard puppet, you've made it.
You are officially a part of Hack the Movies.
Also, all right, so patrons, remember last time I said someone found that Fox TV cut of Bram Stoker's Dracula? I'll be watching it live on Tuesday night. I thought it'd be appropriate because it was the Fox Tuesday night movie. We're gonna watch
Oh,
the
that's
Fox,
nice.
the Fox TV, the famous Fox TV broadcast of Bram Stoker's Dracula, where they eliminate like an entire character from the movie. I can't wait to watch it with all of you. But yeah, with that being said, we're gonna get into the reviews now. You bouncing, Crystal?
Yeah, because I didn't see it. Which ones are you doing? Or first?
Heretic, Black Cab, Cryptids.
Yep,
Well, it
do
was
a single
nice-
one of those.
Nice for you to stop by, Crystal.
I'm gonna go
oh,
trade. What?
Before you leave, we're planning in January to do Nosferatu, the new Nosferatu. So make plans for that.
Wait, to watch, review, or what?
Speaking of which, hold on.
What do you do on this show?
confused.
Hold on.
But
Yeah,
I'm
yes,
also
Johanna. I was
inches
just
away.
telling Crystal how we're gonna do a Nosferatu episode.
Johanna!
What?
I'm watching the stream
Okay. Why would you call during the episode?
because I was messaging you telling you to send me the link, but you weren't answering me. You never fucking invite me.
What?
I just wanted to say hi to Crystal, you piece of shit.
What? No, you can't just call into the show
Hey, Johanna!
to say hi to
I love
someone who
you.
didn't watch the movie.
This is how Johanna and I, keep in contact. Hey, Johanna!
All right, goodbye, Crystal. Goodbye. Oh my God, I got Joey not telling me my mic's low. I got
Whoa, come on now.
I got people calling into the show so they can have a private conversation on air. What the fuck is going on with this thing?
So I know, Joey, if I need to get a hold of you, I have to wait until the fourth Thursday of the month and call Tony. That's the way to do
Exactly.
it.
Yep, that's
Whenever,
right.
No, just whenever I'm live streaming, call me while I'm live
Yeah.
streaming and be like, "Hey, Tony, can you send a message to Joey?"
Yeah, Gil, lose my number. Just delete it so you have to.
I'm just the middle man. Okay, let's get into it. The first movie up is Heretic, starring Hugh Grant. It's a story of two Mormon missionaries going around trying to convert people to the Church of Latter-day Saints. Played by Sophie Thatcher and some lady whose name I can't remember. They end up going to Hugh Grant's house. I said Hugh Grant, right? I didn't say Hugh Jackman, right?
I think
Just now you said Grant.
Okay, good. For a minute, I'm like, did I say Hugh Jackman earlier? That would have been a shock if Hugh Jackman was in the movie.
Chloe East, by the way, is the other
Chloe
girl.
East. Okay, yes. They're there to tell him about the church, and he's like, yeah, come on in. They're like, well, we can't be in without a woman present. He's like, my wife is making pie, and all this was spoiled in the trailer. I wish it wasn't. Yeah, and it turns out they're in this weird series of they're in a maze with like a series of trials to make them question their faith. And his whole thing is like, I'm an atheist and I know what's real and what isn't, and it's all a scam. And they have to, they're already a little conflicted with their faith, we find out in the beginning. So now they have to defend their faith and go through his little plan there. And I thought it was a very exciting thriller that raised some questions. And I was into it. How did you feel, Gil?
I think you would have to be a heretic to say this movie was anything less than pretty good.
Yes.
I went in knowing nothing about it, didn't see the trailer. I'd recommend going in knowing as little as possible. I wish I said that before, Tony, you went on that whole spiel about what the movie's about. But
okay.
I think, this movie, it's basically three characters under a microscope, so it asks a lot from the actors. And I think they all did such a great job. Like the first 2 or 3 minutes, you get to know the two girls so well. And like you said, you get the feel that I think at least one of them is questioning her faith, but it's never stated outright. They just communicate that through a different conversation and
Yeah.
you get a feel of it. And I feel like when you see that, you're like, oh, this is one of those good movies where they're like writing good. And I feel like there's
Writing good.
Yeah. Well, this
They
is an
write good.
unscripted conversation.
They write more gooder than other movies.
Well, that's
Rewriting
how,
the wheel, right, Tony?
you know what? That's how I felt about
Fuck
Hugh.
off, Joey.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hugh Grant did give me vibes of like, I'm so much more smarter than all of you.
Yeah.
Because there are points of the movie where, yes, there's a ton of tension, but when they spend too long on certain parts of the conversation, at a certain point, I'm like, the movie is just lecturing at this point.
Yeah.
And it's ideas that I feel like the filmmaker thinks the ideas are more groundbreaking than they are. But I think they're things that most people know by their teens. Like,
Yeah.
every religion is influenced by stuff that came before. So that causes you to sort of question things. That part of the movie where he's talking about all of that, I ran to use the restroom. And when I came back, he was still going on the metaphor of like one board game copies another.
Well, you did get to see him do his Jar Jar Binks impression, right?
I did, which was
Okay.
great. I mean, anytime. That was one thing I thought they did so well, because to draw this tension out for a while, you can't just go straight to I'm evil, everything is terrible. So he'll kind of skirt the line and then say something really ridiculous and innocuous to just bring everything back, like he's doing a Jar Jar impression. I mean, at a certain
Jar
point,
Jar.
you go over the line, but earlier, like, it gets a little weird, and then he says something funny to bring things back down. It's like a roller
Yeah.
coaster. So they're able to stretch the tension out for almost the entire movie.
He was very menacing. I know he did a horror movie like years and years ago, and he did play a couple bad guys in Cloud Atlas, but this is like his first like big like horror thing that I can think of. Joey C, how did you feel about this film?
I was pretty hooked the second I saw the trailer. I knew I wanted to see it, but I saw a lot of negative reviews in this movie, so I was pretty skeptical going in. But I love the numerous plot twists that happen in the movie, and it's a really overall a fun experience. At least it was in the theater. That might be different from home. And I thought the acting was pretty good. I think Hugh Grant did exceptionally well. Guy wasted 30 years of his career in romantic comedies because horror is it for him, dude. And I really thought the first half was really strong. You know, it questions whether faith is like a truth or like a human construct for power. I love that commentary. The second half was more or less like generic horror tropes, and it falls a little flat towards the end, but the first half was super solid, man.
Well, I don't want to spoil the end, but it kind of has the same ending as a South Park episode, which they mentioned South Park earlier. And without spoiling, it's the episode where they go, actually, Mormon was the correct religion. That's the one. But yeah, so the negative reviews you saw, what were they saying? Because I got a couple negative things when I mentioned I was doing this. They were like, yeah, Hollywood put out a movie. It's an atheist yelling at Christians. They were like mad about that. And then I watched the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. Did you guys not know that? Like,
yeah,
did you
that's
think
exactly what I saw.
I'm like,
too.
did you think the movie was just Hugh Grant just being like, God is bad,
Like mocking God and shit. I
Being
saw a
atheist.
lot of those.
And I actually like that, like the girls like fire back and point out like holes in his theories too. Which there's that great part where she's like talking about like, yeah, okay, some of these stories are similar, but you're ignoring like all these huge differences. She's like, that one has a bird for a head,
That was
and
great.
you're comparing him to Jesus. I did like when he was talking about the iterations, and like you said, he was using the board games. And he was like, yeah, Christianity is the most popular one because they did this, this, and this, and this. And then she's like, yeah, you left out a lot of stuff about Judaism there, Hugh Grant, to help back up your argument. Like, he's just, you can tell he gets like annoyed when they like find holes in his argument. He's like, oh, I don't like that.
He
But yeah, it's
talks so much in the movie, so when he stops talking too,
Yeah.
it gets so unsettling.
Yeah. But yeah, the girls are pretty stupid. Like, they should have just got out of there like right away. I will say without spoiling too much, there was like a big moment in the middle of the movie where I'm like, I did not expect that to happen, and I didn't expect to follow this person for the rest of the film. That like took me by surprise in a good way, not a bad way.
Yeah.
I guess the best thing I could say about this is that it's the best movie with Heretic in the title. But that's only because the only other one I can think of is Exorcist 2: The Heretic, which is one of the worst movies you could possibly see. Unless your idea of the best movie ever made is the late James Earl Jones dressed as a grasshopper, then this is the movie for you. Gil, I will be expecting a Exorcist timeline video, okay?
Oh, I'm working on it.
Now,
And
keep
what
in
did
mind-
Sweet.
Keep in mind, there are two different movies for the prequel. So have fun figuring out that timeline.
Yeah, well, I'm working on an Alien versus Predator timeline right now, and I have to figure out how to justify two different Waylands, one from Prometheus, one from Alien versus Predator. So
It's a
this is
Descendant.
all in my wheelhouse.
It's a Descendant.
Yeah,
Um,
spoilers.
But yeah, I feel like everyone should check this out when it hits streaming. It's A24. They usually put out decent stuff. This is more digestible than some of their weirder stuff, I feel.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah, I
with that.
definitely.
It is-
agree.
It is a little ridiculous. It's like, how did he build all this shit? Like, what is his day job? Like, what did he do? How's he able to get any of this shit? That was taking me out of it a little bit. I loved how he had like the little miniature maze and it would like turn into the real maze. Like, not like magically, just the way they edited it would like blend things together. I really, really like that. But yeah, any last words on Heretic?
Go see it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, agreed.
Actually, I do have one last word. Gil, you said the three characters. I'm a little confused. Did you forget that Topher Grace was in the movie?
I was so happy to see him. I was like, I missed Topher. There were two movies that we watched for this stream where I was like, oh, I missed that guy. So Topher Grace was one of them. And actually, I just watched Predators yesterday, which he's in. So I've had two nice little Topher Grace surprises.
Yeah, Topher Grace is like their Mormon dude who has to like check on them. Yeah, his cameo is like distract because he has his own little subplot, but then he just leaves. I'm like, oh, maybe he is there at the end, or maybe he helps in the finale or something. Like, no, he's just gone now. It reminds me, did you ever see the movie Hard Candy?
No.
With Elliot Page and what's his name? I'm blanking on the Patrick Wilson, I think is the actor. That actress Sandra Oh, she was like huge on like what's the doctor lady show everyone likes? Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. She was like huge. She has like a cameo in that movie, just one scene, and it's super distracting. I'm like, oh, that's Sandra Oh. I'm like, is she gonna be? So I felt the same way with Topher Grace. I'm like, well, that's Topher Grace. He's a big actor. He's gonna have more to do in this movie. It's like, nope, never mind. Topher Grace is fucking gone. Like,
For me, it was almost more distracting that I didn't recognize him at first. So it was like the slow realization of like,
That's
oh
what
my
happened to
god,
me.
that's Topher
Yeah.
Grace. If I knew it was him from the beginning, it might have been less distracting.
Also, I couldn't find any pictures of Topher Grace from this movie, so I went with a classic right there. Everyone remembers him as
That's the first thing
Venom.
everyone thinks of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not Eric Foreman from that 70s show. They think of him as Eddie Brock from Spider-Man 3. Yeah, so Heretic, I approve. Next up, the Screambox exclusive, baby, Cryptids. What a film!
Yeah.
This stars everyone's favorite Joe Bob Briggs.
Man,
It is
he rocks.
it's an anthology horror film. I love the setup where he does a radio show about cryptids. So people are calling in to a show and just telling them stories they've heard or stories they've experienced with cryptids. And we get to see a bunch of them. We have...
Well, I
what are
love,
the-
by the way, with every time somebody calls in, he's like, well, this is a weirdo calling in. Like, you do a show about cryptids. What were you expecting?
Yeah, it was
Anybody
like
have
a-
any weird stories about cryptids? All right,
Yeah.
hello? Well, that's a pretty weird story.
Yeah, by the third or fourth one, it's like, how are you not used to this by now? We have the melon heads, which are like people that a doctor put food in their head or something.
Yeah.
We have a frogman, not to be confused with Frogman, the
You could be
other
right.
Screambox
Which we
movie
reviewed.
we reviewed.
Yeah.
We have little Mac and Me gremlins here. Oh my god, he does look like Mac and Me.
That's why he looked so familiar.
It looks like Mac and Me, but like mixed with the Navi from Avatar. He's like a blue.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was fun. It was very low budget, but I thought it was cute. What did you think of it, Gil?
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a very low budget, independent, scrappy movie. So you have to kind of be willing to work with it.
Mhm.
But I love Joe Bob Briggs in the role. He was
Yeah.
perfect for it. And just as a setup for an anthology, I feel like it's pretty great. Just getting to cut back to the radio show. Essentially, you have somebody hosting the movie, but
Mhm.
it's written into the movie. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a great framing device for an anthology. It's a pretty good one. And then they add an extra like story element to the end. And then I think a Mothman eats him. That was a little confusing. Joey C, what did you think of Cryptids?
Yeah, I think Joe Bob's voice is so nostalgic to me, and plus I love low budget horror movies, so that
Yeah.
was so much fun to watch. And we've watched a lot of great ones recently,
Yeah.
this year at least. And I gotta tell you, I actually, you know what? Let me tell you, I haven't said that one.
Oh,
I quite enjoyed myself, man. Plus, anthologies are like my favorite format to watch in movies.
Mm.
And you mentioned the Melon Heads. I think that one was like the best one. That one was so.
that was like the
kick-ass.
first one too. They started
Yeah.
off pretty strong with the melon.
Yeah, they definitely did. And I thought they were all good, but that one was absolutely my favorite. And I like the fact that we have like a solid grouping of monsters, like ones that I've heard of and ones that I haven't heard of, or maybe a bit lesser known. And if you're a cryptid fan and you want to see like a decent anthology involving them, this is definitely the movie to watch, without a doubt. Had a lot of fun with this one, man.
I like the vintage like 90s segment with the kids who find the alien
yeah.
that like has like acid for blood. I thought that was pretty fun. Even that
Super
alien
awesome.
also looked like Mac and Me. This director really liked Mac and Me, I think. Let's see. Well, multiple directors. Brett Dieger, Zane Hirschberger, and John William Holt. I'm seeing if any of
Zane
them worked on Mac
Hirschberger.
and Me. I don't think they did. But yeah, it's a fun little film. I think this one was my favorite. This weird frog gill man.
Gilmer.
My favorite
Gill man.
monster. I meant. What was your favorite? Not necessarily segment. What was your favorite monster in the film?
For me, it was the little alien from the 90s segment. There's only one problem. Flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah.
That one fucking rocked.
I like
dude.
that one.
Yeah.
It's how I imagine myself if I was a little monster.
Yeah.
Man, come here.
Joey, you said Melonhead was your favorite segment. What was your favorite monster?
Dude, I don't know, man. The little alien is probably the fucking best, man.
Right, you guys
Small,
went all
short,
in on
and
little
spicy.
alien.
I don't think I'm gonna say I don't think Joey finished the movie. Like by coincidence, my favorite one is the first one. My
It's
favorite
always the
monster is the
first
one
one.
Gil said. He's going.
Well,
for
I'm
all
just
the-
saying that, there might have been some fucking gummies involved in there, and they might have
Joey, you can't live life
or am I?
high all the time. Joey, you'll start like going crazy and making videos about how like Sandy in Greece isn't real, and she's
Whoa, who
like,
the fuck does that? Who thinks that
You
Sandy
did that,
is dead in
Joey.
Grease
Did you
1?
forget?
Come on, that wasn't me, man.
Actually,
I
have to
love
watch
that
it.
my life is now in a place where I get a text from someone who's like, "I'm working on a video about how Sandy's not really alive."
Will dead affect my monetization?
I was like, "I've made it. This is the dream."
I was gonna mention when I texted you, but it will spoil an upcoming episode, so
That's
I can't
true.
even talk about
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
But yeah, so this was technically from 2023, but it premiered on Screenbox this month. It's kind of funny seeing Joe Bob in a Screenbox thing because he's more of a Shutter guy because of his show. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely give it a shot. It's a fun one to throw on. Not all of those stories are winners. I thought the Bigfoot one was pretty weak. I do like that he points out that some of the stories are similar. It's like, well, it's 2 in a row where the monsters try to impregnate people. That's a little coincidental. But yeah, solid little indie film. Next up, Black Cab on Shudder, the other horror streaming site. This is a story about a lady who's recently got back together with her boyfriend. She's not thrilled about it. She gets picked up by Nick Frost after an argument. He takes them captive against their will and drives them to a haunted road to, I guess, make them meet a ghost lady. I really dug a lot of this film. It was a fun little like classic ghost story. I was invested in it. I love Nick Frost already. So it was cool to see him play someone a little bit more menacing, but have a little bit of his charm, kind of like Hugh Grant, sort of. Yeah, I was really, really on board with it. I was like invested. And then the end just kind of fizzled out, and I was like, oh, what kind of happened? I got a little confusing at the end. I don't know if you had the same thing. Gil, what
I'm
did you
still-
think of Black
Still
Cab?
confused.
I think the real Black Cab is the one that I wished would have picked me up and taken me away, so I wouldn't have to finish this movie. I think
You didn't like it?
good start. I thought
Yeah.
they set up like a really uncomfortable atmosphere. That nightmare she has in the car with like the
Yeah.
red tint on everything. And then the weird ghost lady who's bending backwards. Like
Yeah.
people contorting in strange ways is always creepy. And even just the story the guy tells at dinner about that girl who's driving home and being followed with that twist ending, like that was really uncomfortable. It set everything up so great. And then when Nick Frost shows up, it was really cool to see him doing something a little bit different. And kind of like Hugh Grant, it's a great comparison. He at first isn't entirely sinister, and Nick Frost especially, he almost comes off as sort of nice and jovial, but quickly I think the sinister edge just becomes outright sinister. And then I thought it became a lot less interesting. And you can compare this to Heretic in a couple of ways, because how do you keep that tension going for like an hour when it's just a couple people in a house, or in this case, a couple people in a car, though one of them, I'm not even sure why he's in the movie. I think he serves like a couple of purposes, but mostly he's just dead weight. But how do you keep that interesting? You need the tension. You need a roller coaster where are they going to get away? No, they're not. Are they going to be safe? No, they're not. Instead, this just felt like just dragging. And there was really no real curiosity for me of why is he doing all this? Like I was kind of interested at first, but I eventually stopped caring, and the answer is not all that satisfying. It's almost all the opposite of what I would say about Heretic, where it was those reveals were a lot more interesting. There were twists and turns, but here it just felt like that atmosphere, which was uncomfortable at first, just became like oppressively dreary by the end, where I just didn't want to be watching anymore. And the ending did leave me scratching my head. And if it were a better movie, I would want to think about it some more, like try and figure out what exactly happened, but it just didn't make me want to do that.
What did you think, Joey?
Well, boys, I'm often confused in life, so this was no different. And I really don't say this often, but I really did not enjoy this movie.
Really?
At all. Usually the victims in horror movies are dumb.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, are they flat out stupid in this one?
Yeah.
But I will say I really dug the intense atmosphere throughout the movie. That was really cool. But the constant overacting in this movie, I wanted to jump off a bridge. I just genuinely, and I don't say this often because I really do like a lot of movies, and I try to find the good in every movie that I see because I just love movies in general. But holy shit, I did not like this one, man. I couldn't pay attention. I just could not pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree with Gil. Like, the beginning is a lot stronger, and I like that they show the ghost stuff early. Because if this had just been a kidnapping, and then he's like, by the way, there's a ghost," I would have been like, "What the fuck happened in this movie?" Not everything is from dusk till dawn. Not everyone can switch genres in the middle of their film and it'll work. But yeah, so I guess without spoiling too much, like, it's a ghost that lost their kid and it wants a kid. So his plan is to offer up a pregnant girl to this ghost so the ghost will stop haunting him so he doesn't have to sacrifice his kid. But then you find out there's a reason that the girl isn't going to work. And it's like a big reveal. But then you also find out that the ghost is responsible for it. So it's like,
which I don't get at all.
yeah, it's like,
I
well,
don't
then why is
understand
the
that.
ghost doing any of this other shit? I don't understand.
Maybe the ghost isn't. It's just he got the wrong idea. The ghost is like, I'm good. I have my baby. But this guy just got the wrong idea totally.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Also, I love, without spoiling too much, here's the big third act reveal.
I tried my
I was
best.
waiting to see when you stop. I'm like, he just keeps going.
You're not missing much, honestly.
No, seriously.
Yeah,
I did think, like, to give the movie a little bit of credit for trying something, it's a cool idea to try and do this mashup where it's not a twist like, hey, there's supernatural. from the beginning, there's this weird mix of a real physical threat, this guy, plus there's a ghost. And you're like, how are the two going to intertwine? That was interesting, but they just didn't really execute it well.
Yeah. I'd say maybe check it out. You don't have to rush to see it, really. Visuals alone, the first like half, I'd say check out, because it is pretty cool. Maybe you'll like it more than us. I'm lukewarm on it. You two really did not like it. The girl. So, Joey, you didn't like any of the acting in this, because this girl is from Last Night in Soho, which I still have not seen. I feel like it's been 3 years of me going, I'm gonna watch it. He's my favorite director.
I
I'm gonna
really
watch
enjoyed
it.
that one.
I liked Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, that was really good.
So this is my first exposure to her. I thought she was okay in this, but
I got the impression that she was really green, like, and she was like, "This is my big break. I'm gonna nail it."
no,
And
this
she
is not her
killed
big
it,
break.
dude.
Last Night in Soho was probably her big break.
For sure, it absolutely was. Aces compared to this one.
Yeah, she is still a relatively new actress, like from 2017 on. So yeah. Okay, that's 3 movies in. Let's we forgot to say the name of the game, Joey.
Oh boy, Tony, the name of the game, folks, is Super Chats. If you want me or the crew to whisper sweet nothings to you, send us a Super Chat, folks, and we'll say it, read it, do it within reason. We have terms and conditions. As you can tell from the Substance episode, we got yellow monetized, folks. We got to really be careful.
That's
Good
why we're all
Lord.
fully dressed right now.
That's right.
Yes,
Everything's covered up.
We're all dressed in our Christmas best.
Oh,
Yes.
Our Christmas best.
Yeah.
Everyone got the memo about wearing the. No, this is actually, I just wear this usually in December for all episodes, and then Joey was like, "I gotta put a sweater on."
I had to.
But yeah, let's read some super chats. Huh?
I have half a Christmas tree. It's not really relevant. I'm just like,
Wait, half a Christmas tree.
I never celebrated Christmas. I've always wanted to. I remember as a kid, we would drive around town. I would see all the Christmas lights, and I would press my face against the glass and be like, "That looks like so much fun." And then I would go home and spin a dreidel. But my girlfriend and I, we decided, let's celebrate Christmas. I've never done it, so we bought a fake tree, which I didn't know you have to spend like an hour and a half, like pulling all the
it's
branches
awful.
apart.
It's so bad. I hate it.
You gotta fluff it.
I hate real trees because they're worse.
Oh yeah, and
but
then you
I
get the
hate-
little things everywhere, the pines.
Yeah, my favorite thing when I live alone is to not have a Christmas tree, and it's like the best feeling in the world. It's my
The problem is I
favorite-
set the expectation now, and we kept.
Yeah.
So you're in a small apartment. What do you do with the tree? So I have half of it is shoved over here behind my little recording booth, and then the other half is shoved under our bed.
Meanwhile, my apartment besides this room is covered in Christmas shit.
What the why?
I just
Why?
like decorate. Dude, I got nothing else going on in my life, dude. Good. I have a grimace.
Tony, he needs
tattoo.
this.
I just remember the moment like I didn't because my mom was like super hardcore into getting a real tree and everything. The moment I didn't live with her anymore, I'm like, I'm not gonna have any Christmas decorations. I'm like, this is amazing. I love this.
That's the opening to Silent Night, Deadly Night 7. I'm not going to celebrate.
right.
You did say that with a weird, like, I'm not going to celebrate Christmas anymore.
I'm not gonna celebrate Christmas. All right, let's go through some of these super chats. Get your super chats in because we're gonna read them again at the end. Psycho Jet Black for $5. Everyone in the panel, can you guys help Tony with dating advice so he doesn't ruin other women's lives? Hashtag Tony needs help. Hashtag giant forehead. Psycho Jet Black, what did I do to you recently?
Whoa, man.
Just a very aggressive super chat to start out with.
You know what, Tony?
Tony would
You wanna
never
know
ruin anyone's life. Go
Your
ahead,
dating
Joey.
advice? Just stay exactly how you are. You are perfect, my friend.
That's horrible
Absolutely
advice, Joey. What are you talking
I was going to
about?
say, I appreciate the sentiment, but I always hated that advice. Don't worry, everything will work out fine. I'm like, well, how though? I just sit here and do nothing.
Every
Get a
day
grimace
something
tattoo,
doesn't
that's
work
what
out
you
fine for someone. Why am I immune to that?
Tony, we'll talk after the stream. I'll set you
Okay.
straight. Don't worry.
Actually, you did at VHS Fest, right?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, there was another event. Yeah, your brother gave me real good advice. A sunglasses emoji.
Don't say that with sarcasm. That was great advice.
Bill gifted 5 Hack the Movies memberships. Wow, that's 5 people that now get to watch the Silent Night, Deadly Night episode early. Can you believe it?
That's nice.
Thank you, Bill. Lenny Laserdisc for $4.99. Before Wicket started, I told my girlfriend, please silence your phone because these witches, I used a different word, be crazy, yo.
Well, hey, all right. Yeah, no, I didn't see Wicked, but if I did, I would have done the same thing, of course.
What's the word
This reminds me of the this is the Key and Peele sketch. The Key and Peele sketch. You really said that. You said that though. He didn't say this.
Yeah.
I said bitch.
Honey, can you please silence your phone? I really want to enjoy the movie this time. Shut up, Lenny Laser. I'm gonna do what I want.
Maybe he said Warlock. Maybe that's what he said.
That was probably it.
That is it.
Psycho Jet Black for $2. All right, after roasting me, he follows up with, please review Jumanji and Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I just spent a fortune on the Wild Wild West figures on eBay, so I can't.
Gil, what the fuck are we gonna do with Joey C? What is he doing?
Yeah, he's trying to. That's the person you don't meet. Joey's great. You want to hang out with him. You want to have him around. He's not the person to get advice from.
I just
changed nothing, Tony. And also, I just bought a bunch of Wild Wild West figures.
I know I shouldn't point figures as I broadcast from a fake video store, but buying an entire lot of Wild Wild West figures.
The number of hearts you just broke. Wait, it's fake?
Anyway, I'm glad it's muted and he can't hear us. Hey, Joey.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Sorry, me and Gil drove through a tunnel.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was just talking to Grimace.
Oh, that's great. You're talking to, and now he's fucking talking to Grimace. Gil, what are we gonna do? Oh, there you are, Joey. Hey, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, it's.
I do.
Right.
I feel like I was a little harsh before. I have actually taken advice from Joey before. It just depends on the topic.
Oh, okay.
Like I think I wouldn't take advice on like Wild Wild West purchasing decisions, but other than that, pretty much everything is good.
All right, Psycho Jet Black again for $5. Joey C, since you hidden all those cameras in Tony's bathroom, is it true that he doesn't wash his hands or brush his teeth? Hashtag lay off the lasagna. Psycho Jet Black, why do you spend so much money shitting on me? I don't understand.
He does wash his hands, but he skips brushing his teeth to every other day. But other than that, he's a very clean boy, let me tell you. And I've inspected him from top to bottom, believe me.
God damn it, Joey. Kiryu Pilot for Kira Pilot 379 for $9.99. Love the Lost in Space review. Did you buy the whole toy line for that too, Joey?
No, but it's on my list, man.
You just gave him the idea.
Tough speaking of flying monkey. Though speaking of flying monkeys, you forgot the craziest part of the Big Blarp deleted scene in which Big Blarp was pregnant and had Blarp baby. That didn't happen.
That's because it was deleted, Tony. It's a deleted scene.
No, I watched the scene. I don't remember them saying it's pregnant. The future Big Blarp is there with the past Tiny Blarp. Did you think that was the Blarp's baby? Those are the same Blarps from different time periods in the same thing. Gil, I don't know if you remember the 1998 Lost in Space, but they remember Little Blarp?
Yep.
They cut out the entire Big Blarp sequence. They
Oh my
go into a
Lord.
time bubble and they find a Big Blarp. It really was the glue that held the film together, and I'm sad they cut it out.
Hey, Pilot 379, are you going to take that from Tony? Or are you going to send another super chat to dispute all this nonsense he's saying?
Maybe I misheard that it was pregnant. All I know is that there wasn't supposed to be baby Blarps in that scene. It was just a regular little Blarp. I've said the word Blarp more times in my life over the last 2 weeks.
You're going to get demonetized. They're going to be like, Blarp is clearly a code word of some kind.
For sure, it's a slur.
Blarp is a racist dog whistle. For what? Someone say that name. I'm going to butcher it.
Lang Wider.
Sure, for $4.99.
I don't think any of us can do better than that.
I had some patients cancel, so I get to be here. Don't question Joey C's Manulus. And hashtag Daddy Dilkers for good measure.
Yeah, baby. Daddy Dilkers. Fuck yeah. I'm very manly.
Psycho Jet Black for $2. Where are the best and worst Hugh Grant movies? I don't know where they are. I'm
Right
pretty
behind
sure
you, back there.
I'm pretty sure they're all available to rent on Amazon. Some may even be streaming.
It's a very easy answer. Paddington 2 is both.
I'm still mad that Pessy. Pessy and all the RTC guys all wear the shirt, the Paddington shirt, but with my face and the bear onesie on it, and I don't have that shirt. Everyone has that shirt but me. It's really driving me nuts. I'm like, wait, but that's me. I want that. Psycho Jet Black again for $2. Gil, I'll punch you if you consider this. Gil, can you do a timeline on Tony's hairline?
I'm going to do a timeline on Tony's epic rise to fame.
Yeah, there you go.
It started with Dark Knight Rises and only rose from there.
Nowhere to go but up after that. AJ Wizzle. Tony, did you find it odd how... Hold on, let me read all of AJ Wizzle's stuff before I say it out loud. You got to be careful. Okay. Did you find it odd how Lost in Space saves everything for the last 10 minutes and then hasn't enough time for a legitimate ending? Yeah, they really cram everything into the back of that movie. They put all the good effects, not counting Spider-Smith, that one is trash, at the very end of that film. And they open it with like garbage special effects. You usually want to do the opposite of that. The Flail. Tony only showers once a week. No! Every day, sometimes twice a day. And then
Thanks, Flail.
Bill for $2. Wild West review end. All right, well, back to the episode. Get your super chats in, everyone. You jerks.
I feel like I get so lost in those super chats. Like, what are we talking about tonight? like glanced over at my notes and I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah.
Next up, Your Monster. This one's directed by Caroline Lindy, based off a short film she did in 2020. This is the story of a girl, Melissa Barrera, who was fired from the Scream movies. I'm sure people have their opinions about that in the comments. She just got over cancer. She had a surgery to remove cancer. I don't know if we ever learned what kind of cancer it is. And during this process, her boyfriend dumped her because it was just too much for him. And he's a playwright, and he has to focus on the play that she kind of helped develop. And he's like, all right, get out of here, cancer lady. I got to go live my life. So she beats the cancer, comes home. She's sad. Her mom's not there. Her friend's ditching her. And then she meets a monster in her house. It's apparently a monster who's always lived there. He likes living alone because her mom's never there. Yeah. And then she ends up developing a friendship and a romance with him. And he tries to motivate her to get over her past. And comedy and wacky hijinks ensue. Gil, what did you think of Your Monster?
I think the only monster was Tony for making me watch this movie. I think this movie is pretty well reviewed, and I think a lot of the reviews highlight this one positive, which I agree with, is that these two characters, they have great chemistry together.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Yep.
But I think the story of the movie is essentially her sort of overcoming her kind of meek personality and sort of rediscovering the more aggressive and self-assured side of herself. But showing that transformation inside someone is difficult to do without an external motivating force. And the cheap way to do it is somebody shows up, a new friend, a new boyfriend, somebody that's like, you got to go out there, you got to be better. And that's cheap. So they found a different way to do it and created this metaphor of a monster, which is kind of like a cheat code, but I wouldn't have minded it if they extracted a lot of value from that metaphor. But I don't really feel like they did. Like you can do a lot of weird, fun stuff with, the monster under your bed, your whole life was a real monster. There's like 5 minutes of kind of sketch comedy with that, where they're fighting over the thermostat and then he punches it through the wall. But other than that, this could have been a generic script about two platonic friends who are roommates, slowly discovering maybe they want to be more than that. You could take that script and with a few little tweaks, adding those little monster elements, it becomes this movie. And so I just didn't find it that, like, it was fine for what it was, but it sort of tricks you into thinking it's going to be something a little more special. And then just beyond that, I thought some of the plot points were oddly handled. Like the cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
I sort of forget about it 45 minutes in, and then just every once in a while she goes in for a blood test. And I think it's there because it's somewhat autobiographical. This is an experience the director went through. I
Okay.
think she got cancer and she was dumped. And so I understand why it's in the movie, but I don't think it was integrated well enough into the story. And then other strange stuff like her friend Maisie, who's there at the beginning, and then she kind of disappears for a while.
Well,
And
we
she was
find out
gone.
why.
You find out why, but she was gone for so long. And it
You
was
kinda
so
forgot about her?
I kind of forgot about her, and I found it oddly unacknowledged. Like there wasn't enough of a confrontation there was a confrontation of like, you're only there to drive me to the doctor and do this. We didn't even see her drive her to the doctor except for that first scene. So she disappeared for us, even though she hadn't fully disappeared from the character's life. So you get to a crucial point in the movie where, like you said, you find out why she disappeared. And I had to pause for a second and like rewind to say, oh, that's her friend from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I also just felt like thematically it gets a little weird with the ending. I feel like it gets a little bit muddled, and I wasn't
Yeah,
really
that-
a fan of how that was handled.
I'm a little conflicted about it, but Joey C,
Yeah.
what did you think of Your Monster?
You know, I actually thought it was kind of cute and a bit funny. The acting was very, very cheesy, almost bad, maybe.
I think it was meant to be, though.
Now that you guys are talking about that, I think you're fucking right. The story was fun, except for like the misstep. I don't want to spoil it. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but like everything was fun except like the misstep that she does to the monster. That was really fucking weird. I thought, at least, maybe I just didn't understand it. I don't have much to say about the rest of the movie, honestly. It was just kind of like a goofy little movie that you could watch with like a date. Not necessarily like a boys movie, if you know what I'm saying. I just don't understand that misstep. I don't know if you want to spoil it or not, but
nah, I guess we'll save it because I actually
This is the one movie you're going to be protecting.
I don't know.
respect this one.
This is fun. I thought it was fun.
I really liked it. I thought it was cute too. Gil, I agree that this does feel like a generic rom-com. It's just they put a monster in it. I guess my one issue is that like he doesn't look monstrous enough. Like
it's always like that. It's like
He
she
just looks
fell
like
in love
Bo
with a
Burnham.
monster. I'm like, yeah, it's just like a guy with a beard, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, this would be a funny like, because you're right. This could be like a friend character or a roommate, and they realize they have like feelings for each other. But like, it would be funnier if he was like, I don't know, like he looked like a giant bat or something. Like he looked like actually monstrous. Like he had like boils on his
They should have
face.
teamed up with the Cryptids guys.
Exactly. Hold on. What should the monster have looked like? I think.
If it was a little alien, I would have loved that. Hey,
Yeah. Hold on. How about this guy? This guy. Yeah.
that
If
would be
this is-
impressive.
Yeah, if it was the same movie with this, I think it would have worked a lot better. Because it would have been a fun contrast. Like, oh my god, it's funny. They're doing all the classic tropes of a rom-com, but it's with this weird
Frog man.
giant
Yeah,
monster.
that would have
Mothman.
changed. Like what you guys were saying, this could be like a great date movie with a gal. Like that might not be as true if the monster looked like that. It was like
Yeah.
eating people's heads through.
They had to make him like slightly attractive just in case.
Yeah, but the fact that he is like handsome and stuff and not like beastly, it's just like, well, I don't know. It just kind of feels like a regular dude, just has a weird nose and eyes. Like I've seen girls that hot date guys, humans uglier than this dude. Like I've seen it. I've seen it. Usually drugs are involved, but I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen
boy,
it.
have I too.
I will say, with the ending, the ambiguous ending, if it does lean one way, she's kind of a terrible person. I think she
exactly.
I think she
fucking
ruins
agree.
that other actress's life forever.
Yep.
I didn't even think it was ambiguous, to be honest. I felt like it was until it wasn't, and I was like, well, that's clearly the note
Yeah.
they chose to end on. But
Yeah, and it is weird that she's not asking him like any questions about his monster stuff. Like she goes to his little monster room and she's like confused by. I mean, her mind's on other things, but I guess that is one way to get around it. Like she's too focused on other things. She doesn't have time to ask him questions about monster stuff. But yeah, I will say Melissa Barrera was great, and it was a nice change because I've seen her in the Scream movies, and I saw her in Abigail,
right,
and
right.
then I saw 30 minutes of In the Heights at my old gym, because my old gym had a movie theater, and it mistitled which movie was playing, so it said "Click Click Boom" starring Andrew Garfield.
Tick tick boom.
Tick Tick Boom, sorry. And so I'm like, oh, wow, that's that Andrew Garfield movie. I'll run on the elliptical and watch it. And I'm watching and I'm like, wow, sure are a lot of Latinos in this Andrew Garfield movie. And I'm like, still going. I'm like, here's Melissa Barrera singing. I'm like, oh, okay, is that Lin-Manuel Miranda? I'm like, where's Andrew Garfield? And then like the movie ended and it was like In the Heights. And I'm like, oh, I watched a completely different movie.
You walked on the treadmill the entire length of the movie?
No, it was like the last like 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I was invested.
I was like, wow.
I came in late, but I kept being like, oh, this must be like one of the subplots. When's it get back to Andrew?
This must be a dream he's having. It's the longest dream sequence ever.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this must be some of the characters who live in that neighborhood. It'll circle back to the Andrew Garfield one. I'm like, oh no, I'm just watching a different movie. Edge Fitness put the wrong movie on the schedule.
By the way, Click, Click, Boom, Boom, I feel like could be a great alternate title for that new Y2K movie where it's all technology
Oh,
exploding.
I like that.
You're going online. You're going to go to a chat room. Click, click, boom, boom. Think again.
Spoiler, I am trying to put that on the end of year wrap up. I really want to check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so seeing her in this being like super vulnerable and kind of wacky and just playing against type, I actually really, really like. She was adorable.
Yeah,
I
she did well in this.
What was that?
I thought she did well in this.
Yeah, I thought she was great. I'd say check it out. You're right. It is more of a date movie, I think. It's not too different than a regular rom-com other than he's a monster and a handsome, handsome monster. But next up, oh, buddy.
Jesus.
Red One, 'tis the season. Red One. Now, Gil, you said you don't experience Christmas and you want to experience Christmas. I'm sure you ran right away to the theater to watch Red One, right?
More like Red None, because there was none. I didn't see it.
Wait, sorry. Just a little bit of an update. Remember, I'm assuming that's a callback to Godzilla Minus Fun.
Yeah, I've been watching Adam's channel lately, so he's rubbing off on me.
Okay. Did you see some Godzilla podcast did a 3-hour live stream complaining about Adam from last year?
No.
No, I have to watch that.
I just left a comment and saying Adam rules. I didn't watch it. Like, yeah, you meat ride him. I'm like, is that a term? I heard dick riding. So I might on the Kazilla Rumble channel. I might watch that guy's live stream.
I was like, it's funny because I knew you're looking at the camera, but I knew you were looking at me when you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. I still blame you now. Yeah, so you didn't see it, but Joey, you saw it, right?
Boy, did I.
Good. I'm going to have to ask you a little bit of what happened in the movie because I started dozing off in the middle. This was a rough one to get through. It starts off really bad.
Yeah, so I found it really similar to like one of the scenes in the Santa Claus when Santa gets kidnapped, and then they have like those little elf kids, the kids go out and fucking like try to get Santa Claus from the police station.
Dude, Sorry, no, continue. Sorry,
I was just gonna say like that's all you gotta fucking know, dude. Jacked and Santa Claus is jacked, but Santa Claus he's out of the mission, man, and you're gonna get the guy.
Sorry,
Wait, what the fuck is that?
That isn't even from when I saw it. That's yesterday. We took the twins to Moana too, and I was like, my sister, I'm like, you need a picture of me with the Red One sled. By the way,
what the fuck?
By the way, this display wasn't here when the movie came out.
Why
I don't know if
is
I
it
missed
so
it and they
big?
moved it.
Well, and it's like covering
is it
another
so
movie back
big?
there. They just didn't know where to put this.
The Zoe Kravitz movie. So the story, I guess, like you said, it is a lot like the Santa Claus. There's not like an ounce of originality in this. It's
Not at all,
borrowed
dude.
From everything I've seen in this film is from something else. Mostly the Santa Claus. So Santa, he gives presents. Chris Evans is an asshole. He's Ant-Man. Chris Evans is Ant-Man.
Yep.
And he's not the only Ant-Man in the movie, by the way, where he has a wife. He had a girlfriend and a kid, but he's estranged because he's always doing shady stuff. And sometimes he has a thick Brooklyn accent and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's a level 4 naughty lister. Santa is played by J.K. Simmons and he's jacked.
Yep.
And The Rock is his bodyguard. He works for the ELF.
Oh, the extremely large and formidable. That was the only thing that fucking made me laugh in the fucking movie. Dude.
I forget what the real acronym meant though. It was like something stupid. There's like a government agency that deals with like mythical creatures,
Yeah.
I guess.
Like Men in Black type shit, basically.
Yeah, it's not exactly. Again, it's like Men in Black and shit. It's not just Christmas shit because when Santa goes missing, someone kidnaps him. They question the headless horseman. They're like, "Oh, we had to like ask all the usual suspects," and it's like, Lucy Liu, what are you doing here? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, so they're on a mission. He's got to team up with Chris Evans because Chris Evans was involved in the plot to kidnap Santa, but not directly, I think. And they got to get help from Krampus, who I thought was, what's his face from Stranger Things, but I think I only thought that because I finally watched that 2019 Hellboy movie, which was terrible. But it was someone else. He's that big red-bearded guy from Game of Thrones, I think.
Okay.
Joey, I need you to help me because I was dozing off before they went to Krampus Land. Where did Krampus come from? How is he related to this? Is he like, did they say he was Santa's brother?
That's it. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because
Okay.
I literally was like, so he's his brother who, like, I don't know how he ended up, got infected by whatever evil it was to become Krampus or whatever. And he went his way and then they have to get his help to get him back. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. So
everything you're saying sounds cool. Like they're going to interrogate the headless horseman,
I
and then
mean,
Krampus is Santa's brother. So like,
He does
what's
look
the
sick
movie
in this movie though.
What's it doing wrong? Is it just like trying to be funny and it's not?
actually, the Krampus stuff looked cool if it was in a different movie. Like all the monster effects were cool, but
I thought they were fucking sick.
it's just
dude.
like I said, it's very derivative
It's
of
all
a lot of
generic.
things. Yeah, it's like they threw a lot of cool things into a blender, but it doesn't really. For me, it just didn't have an identity of its own. When I said there's two Ant-Mans, The Rock, his special bracelet makes him shrink. So you have Chris Evans' Ant-Man's personality, and then The Rock has Ant-Man's powers.
Yep.
So they split Ant-Man in half. The North Pole is Asgard, complete
Literally,
with
1000%.
Hold on, I think it's hold on. You can see it in the
Oh, you see it in
background.
the background, yeah.
Complete with a triangular building with a giant bridge where the finale takes place. And if this, honestly, I want to look up the visual effects people. I'm like, did they just get the Asgard team and just palette swap stuff? Like, it just looked so.
It's
I'm
take
like,
all those existing assets.
Yeah, it really feels
They
like
put
that. I'm like,
everything into a blender, and out came this fucking movie.
it really is. I'm like, oh, okay. And then there's like an evil witch, who I guess is Hela from Thor. No, I will say. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, that makes
We've
sense.
talked about this lady a
Okay.
lot. She was in Totally Killer, and she was in Long Legs and Twister. She was in 5 seconds of Twisters. I usually don't have an opinion on this lady, but her in the witch form was looking hot as hell. And then they turn her into a big ogre lady and ruin it. Yeah, she's the bad guy, and she wants to put everyone in globes. All the naughty people have to go into globes.
Yep. Which is kind of
'Cause-
kinky.
Yeah, because the naughty people don't get punished anymore because Krampus was told not to punish them. And I guess this lady went away and she's got evil snowmen
Okay.
that
Minions.
attack. What was her deal? Why did she want to punish the naughty? Joey, do you remember?
No, all
really
I remember is that she was mad at Krampus because Krampus wouldn't go against the orders to not punish people.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, but why? Like, what's your fucking deal, man? Like, what's your beef?
Yeah.
That
And then when you see her in her true form, it's like, how did Krampus get it on with her? It doesn't like the logistically. I know she's a shapeshifter. Should she have to shapeshift every time? Because he specifically says he's attracted to the monster version of her.
Yep.
And I'm like, those pieces don't line up, buddy. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, if she can
Things get
part
creative.
transform.
Magic is weird, man.
Yeah.
Do they acknowledge that Santa's sack of gifts? Like, is it an endless?
Oh,
where he just pulls
dude.
gifts out?
Okay, yeah, no. He has the helicarrier from
So they were just
Avengers,
copying
and it has
everything.
like
Yeah.
mini sleighs on it, and he's got drones, and
Literally
it's so,
drones, dude.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's like where they try to make it like too high tech, I guess. It's bad. It's bad. And anything that I did enjoying it is just something from another film, and I don't understand who it was made for. The visual effects look good, the makeup effects look great. I'm like, man, there's so many movies that could be better if they had better effects, and they don't. And then this piece of shit has really good effects in it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you know,
damn it, I could.
It's funny because everyone always says like, "Oh, Hollywood is broke," but then they fucking like somehow pull out $250 million and fucking make this movie.
For this, yeah.
It's just it fucking baffles me, dude.
And spoiler, how do you get out of the ball if you're a naughty person? The power of love. That'll do it.
It's just so fucking generic.
It really is.
Like, I know we always say that about like horror movies, but like I feel like we rarely say that about like non-horror movies. But that's like a Disney Channel fucking shit, man. And on another point is like, besides J.K. Simmons,
wait, Joey just said it was like a Disney Channel, and suddenly he had a lot more to say.
I have so much.
He's like, I'm in my element now.
I'm in the zone.
Box office battles. Let's go.
That's right. Besides J.K. Simmons, who's the fucking man. I love that dude. This movie is filled with every actor I don't give a flying fuck about, or do I even want to see. And the other big thing that I noticed while I was watching this is that the characters themselves have no fucking mojo, no riz, as the TikTokers say. Right? It's the fucking Rock playing the Rock. Dude, yeah. And Chris Evans is playing the same fucking character he always plays, besides Captain America, and he's a hacker, so he's like every generic fucking hacker.
Do they do the like with like terminal like Matrix stuff going?
Yeah, it's got no fucking soul whatsoever. And now, mind you, it is a soulless movie, but it wasn't horrible specifically because of the background. I really dug the background atmosphere and the sets too. Some of the sets were really fucking cool. Krampus's lair was fucking sick.
Yeah, Krampus's lair looked awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to see that in like a theme park. That would be fun to like go to. I don't want to watch this movie again.
Dude. Yeah, fuck no, dude.
Oh, they have a reality bracelet where you could turn toys into real things.
Okay.
And Chris Evans says he wants to do it on a Wonder Woman doll. And The Rock is like, it doesn't work like that. So it's like, oh, because he does it to a car, like a toy car. He does it to a big one. I'm like, oh, I guess it only works on like inanimate object. But then like he makes a rubber chicken into a real chicken.
Real chicken. I was just gonna say.
And I was like, well, why couldn't you make a Wonder Woman doll into a real Wonder Woman? Like, I don't understand the.
That would be great if he called him out at that point. Like, wait a minute. So it does work on living things.
That's a good example of this movie had a lot of like, it had a lot of potential. And it's just it's so fucking soulless, man. And it makes me angry. I'm getting angry. I'm sweating right now.
I know. I've never seen this side of you.
This do you think this was, since it's so derivative of things, do you think this was like an AI script? They're like, hey,
oh, fuck. Yeah, that explains it. Because it took so much shit. Men in Black, the Santa Claus, fucking
you would
Thor.
think like
oh
Chris Evans
God.
would be like, hey guys, a lot of what you're doing is from the MCU. And they're like, shut up, take the money home.
Yeah, here's another $10 million.
Yeah, who directed this? Hold on.
Yeah, I'm curious to find that out.
Jake Kasdan, what has he done? Oh, he did. Oh God, hold on.
And I'll look at the writer.
Jumanji: The Next Level and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. But this is sad. He directed years ago. He directed Orange County and Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Those are two great movies. And he did a lot of good TV stuff too. Freaks and Geek and Undeclared, and I guess he did Jumanji, and now he's like, I'm in the CGI rock business. Let's do this.
You know, it's the other funny thing is I heard that The Rock got paid a fuck ton of money to be in this movie, which is wild that he's still making that much money. Dude, it was something like $20 million or something.
Okay, Moana aside, I'm like looking at this like,
which Moana was not successful because of The Rock, right?
No, oh God, no.
Yeah.
Well, the new Moana was supposed to be a TV series, and then early in production, they're like, nah, rework this as a movie, and they got him back. I'm sure the live action Moana will do numbers, although I don't know why. Fast X, he's uncredited because he's barely in it. Like, his last starring movie was Black Adam, which bombed.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, League of Super Pets, he's a voice actor. That's a cartoon, doesn't really matter. Red Notice, the Netflix movie, I don't think anyone really cared about. Jungle Cruise, I don't think anyone saw. Like,
No, I didn't see that one.
I know he has a lot of money and stuff, but it's like, man, these movies aren't that great. Rampage I liked. I'll give Rampage a pass. Rampage was fun.
I think this movie was supposed to be like a Netflix original or
That
like an
makes
Amazon
sense.
Prime original, and then it got shifted like either early or later in development to be theatrical.
Well, I will say the effects look too good. Not every effect. I'm mostly talking about like the CGI backgrounds and stuff. There
Yeah.
are some bad effects in this, but they look better than you would see in like an Amazon or Netflix original. I didn't put Dear Santa on the list, the one with Jack Black, and he's the devil Santa.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one.
Because we've already seen Santa Slay, and that's the only devil Santa I need in my life, starring Bill Goldberg. Because when I think who's the right person to play Santa, I think Bill Goldberg.
Goldberg. Yeah.
The weird thing is he met his wife on that movie. It's like, how'd you meet?
Oh,
I was
did he?
playing a satanic Santa Claus.
That makes it funnier.
But yeah, Red One. Don't see it. Not good. Hated it.
I already have not seen it. So
Good.
You're gonna be tempted to see it. What if
If you need
actually
something in the background,
What
I
if you
wouldn't even
actually
do that.
watch it, Gil, and you're like, guys, you were all wrong.
I think I'll be too embarrassed to admit it. I'll be like, yeah, that movie sucked. I'm gonna watch it again just to make sure. But
Tomorrow I'm gonna like turn on YouTube and it's just gonna be like what Red One is really about.
The Woody Woodpecker sequel.
I forget we did that.
That's the best bit ever.
All right, our last movie is The House From, directed by directed by Tommy. I want to say Avalon, but it might be Avalon-y. I forget. I've seen another one of his documentaries before. He did, Joey, you might know this one. The I Am Santa Claus. Mick Foley was in it.
Oh,
It was-
yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was about
No
guys
way.
who. It was like a whole like documentary on the people who play Santa Claus for like
Yep.
seasonal stuff and what they do off season. He's done a couple things, but yeah, he's back with a new documentary called The House From, and it's all about famous houses from movies and what it's like to own them and manage them, the problems you run into. It's narrated by Jason Lee, and Ryan Reynolds was actually a producer on this. I really enjoyed this one. You got to see like a bunch of houses here. We got the Pee Wee Herman house, the Full House house, which is now owned by the producer. And I like that he pointed out that logistically the house makes no sense, which is how I feel
Yeah.
about Seinfeld, Tom's Diner being used as Monk's Cafe. If you look at the exterior and interior, I'm like, these windows don't match up. The Home Alone house, still the original, the neighbors from the other house. They like, that was the coolest moment where they had like VHS footage, like behind the scenes of Home Alone.
Yeah, that was super cool.
I also love all the little things that they kept in, which they didn't have to. Like
Yeah.
that guy didn't hear him when he's like, "Sit down," and then she sits down. And he's like, "Sit down." He's like, "Sorry, I can't hear very well."
We hear about like the feud with the neighbors and the Goonies house and the previous owner of the Goonies house who
Yep.
did not like the Goonies fans. And I think I'll ask you guys what your favorite was. I do have a favorite that wasn't included too much in the documentary, but that's why we had that pre-recorded interview coming up. But besides that, my favorite was learning about the Breaking Bad house. And
Yeah,
just how
dude,
much
that
of a
one was
shit
cool.
show that is.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. Dude,
Oh.
they had to stop people from throwing pizza.
But they made it worse. Like, oh god, I talk about it in the interview. Like, they've made it worse, where I feel like people now are just going to fuck with them. Gil, what did you think of The House From?
More like The House Fun. It was- I was always like, man, Adam's so good at that, but now I'm realizing it's so easy.
But
It
no, what
was,
did you think?
No, it was fun. It was just it's not the kind of documentary that'll give you some, unique insight into the human condition. It's an hour and a half of like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Mm.
A lot of fun facts. Like, I think my favorite little thing I didn't realize is like Funko Pop put out all of these toys of the Halloween house, but instead of doing a replica of the original house, they accidentally did a replica of a replica that a guy built because he couldn't get the original house. So it's got the wrong address number on it, the wrong color.
He reworked his house to look like it, and the person
Yeah.
just didn't check. How does that even happen? I don't.
Yeah, it's like somebody
understand.
Googled Halloween house. They grabbed the first article they saw, and it wasn't the right house. And now they printed like thousands of them. And like
No
that
one
kind of
knows.
stuff, you would never know unless you watch this documentary or
That's
for some
right.
reason went looking for it. Jason Lee, by the way, I mentioned earlier, Topher Grace was a one surprise of like, oh yeah, I missed that guy. Jason Lee was another. It was cool to hear his voice narrating this movie. It's like watching My Name is Earl again. And I also just enjoy how this stuff is so low stakes,
Yeah.
but seeing some of the people, how passionate they get and how
Yep.
seriously they take it. Like, no spoilers, but as the documentary is wrapping up, and it's like, it seems like the fight over the Goonies house is going to start to ramp up again. And that's like the cliffhanger ending of the documentary. One other just moment I liked was the Golden Girls house. People are writing letters to the house, but addressing it to characters from the show. Very
don't-
heartfelt letters, like
Yeah.
opening up.
I
And the
don't
lady-
understand that.
It's very weird that they're doing it, but I feel like almost just as weird is the person who owns the house. She's reading all these letters, and she's like, they're very touching. And I'm like, those letters aren't meant for you.
She's
Gil, they're
stealing
meant for
somebody
people
else's
who
mail.
don't exist, and also if they were meant for the actresses, they're all dead now. So
It just feels off to me. Like you're opening up your heart and talking about how this show saved my life. It got me through some tough times. And this person's just like, let me rip that open, have a look.
it doesn't count if it's for a fictional character.
Oh, my other favorite part was the guy who bought the Goonies house,
Yeah.
and he's sitting on top of it, and he like does a scene from Goonies, and he's like, "It'll never get old." And he's like a long pause. He looks down. He's like, "It'll never get old." Like, it just got old in that moment.
Joey, what did you think of the house from?
I thought it was really awesome. So I was born in the city that Rod Serling was from the Twilight Zone. So in all the local museums when I was a kid, we always had all these original props from the famous episodes. So as a really young kid, I was really interested in seeing actual props and actual locations from things. So when YouTube came about, up until now, all I watch is like filming location videos. So this felt like that, which I really fucking loved. And it's really interesting to me, like what the people in the house think of the movies that the house that they live in. And you never see that on YouTube because these YouTubers aren't going to like bug the people that live in them. So it was really cool to have like exclusive interviews and stories about what they think of the movie or what they think of the legacy of the house and the filming location. And plus, as a skateboarder, Jason Lee is a former professional skateboarder, and he's one of my favorites. So to see him narrate this, that was fucking awesome. Although now I think he's a Scientologist, so it's not as cool now.
Oh, wow.
But that was still
Whoa,
awesome.
whoa,
to
whoa,
see.
Hack Movies is very inclusive. We
Heretic.
Heretic. Oh, so all right. Gil, I feel like all right, Gil. It's gonna be like The View. Joey C, I need you to read a statement saying that you respect all. Did you see that on The View? They shot
I
on that
did,
guy. And
yeah.
they had to read the legal.
They just stare into the camera like, I'm being asked to read this statement.
I
Joey C,
am
yeah.
very inclusive of all Scientologists and all religions. Signed, Joey C from Hack the Movies.
Well, don't say it from Hack the Movies. Joey C, guest on the channel.
Oh yes, guest, yes.
A
Not
friend,
nearly as
acquaintance.
famous.
Really, I'm meeting him for the first time. If you're
You said Joe E.C.? I think
Joe
maybe I know him.
E.C. Mrs. Joe E.C.
I was gonna ask, have you guys been to any of these houses? Because I've been to two that I can think of.
None none in this documentary, but it should be in it. The Ernest P. Worrell House in Orlando, Florida. I have been to that one. That one was awesome, man.
Yeah. What about you, Gil? You been to any of these?
I know I've seen the Friends apartment. It's in the city, so that one's easy to just walk to. I saw, it wasn't in this, but the firehouse from Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
But anything from this, I think that's it.
Well, I wasn't implying. You live like next to Manhattan. Obviously, you
Yeah,
guys
I
see,
know.
like,
That's why anything here I've seen. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I saw the Statue of Liberty from, or no, I was gonna say, I saw the Empire State Building from King Kong. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You saw that, Gil? Saw the Chrysler Building from Armageddon. Oh, wow.
Hey, Gil, what buildings have you seen? Oh, these ones. Oh, yeah, walking around looking at buildings all day.
I've been to the Halloween house, the actual Myers house, which is funny because they moved it down the street from where it originally used to be. So when you watch Halloween now, you know the hardware store where Loomis meets Sheriff Brackett? Now the Myers house is right next to the hardware
Wait,
store.
they
and
moved to
Oh.
the house?
Yeah, I think a chiropractor who used to own it liked it, and they were leveling all the houses on that block, so they moved it. They
No
chopped
shit.
it up and moved it down the street. I don't even know how you do that. You
Yeah, I
can
have
do
no
it.
idea.
But it's just so weird to me to see it next to the hardware store, which I think is a cafe now. And I'm like, no, my brain knows it a certain way, and my brain can't adjust to it here.
This isn't right.
This isn't right. I expected it to look different color-wise and everything, but I didn't expect it to be in that location. That was
I would
the
have
only
loved if this documentary was how you realized you went to the wrong house. You're like, I went to the replica.
Yeah. I don't know
thought
if
was
it counts.
weird that it wasn't in Pasadena. I thought that was a weird start.
I don't know if it counts, but I do have a piece of the house from the Blair Witch Project at the end of the movie.
Ooh.
So-
Oh, that's cool.
That's my rise to fame right there.
Ooh, Joey, I have a plan for something Blair Witch related, but it all depends on if someone goes to jail or not. FreeRiley.fund. I gotta talk to you off that. But yes, you got the new restoration, right?
I do have it. It's
We gotta
beautiful.
watch that. We
Comes
gotta
with a
watch that.
lot of stuff, man.
They restored
Absolutely
the Blair
beautiful.
Witch Project. All right, guys. For the next 20 minutes, we're gonna have a lovely interview I did with Chris Rowan, the owner of the Buffalo Bill House, which I filmed in recently, did a bunch of stuff. He came in, he's in the very end of the documentary. He showed up kind of late into that like whole production thing, so they don't really, and I think they were shooting it as it was opening. So I wanted to hear more from him, more than I already have. So he can talk more about like what went into going into the house, and like has he run into some of the issues that these people have. I pre-recorded that. I'm gonna play that. Get your super chats in because we're gonna read super chats afterwards and listen to a few voicemails. So I'm gonna play that for you guys right now. Properly introduce yourself. Properly
Properly introducing myself.
Yes.
Chris Rowan, owner of Buffalo Bill's House, the Silence of the Lambs film location. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, no one ever high-fives me at the beginning.
Dude,
of
I'm
things.
bringing the high five back. I am a child of the 80s, so yes, the high five never went away from me.
Good.
So.
So yeah, this is playing during our monthly wrap up. We probably just got done talking about the house from.
Yes.
But I wanted to ask you some questions because you were in it.
I was.
Yes.
It's
But
awesome.
we didn't get to learn enough about the Buffalo Bill House.
Yes.
I have some. If you're a fan of this channel, you know that I really like the Buffalo Bill House. I went there lately. I went there recently.
Yes,
I
you did.
recorded an episode there. I did a little tour video.
You were in the you were in our interactive well film
I
set.
live streamed from the well. That was a lot of fun.
Badass.
I've since cut out the technical difficulty, so it's a great live stream. If you were watching it live, not such a great live stream, but afterwards,
We got a lot of positive feedback on the Buffalo Bills House Instagram and Facebook.
Good, good.
Hopefully you got some follows out of it.
I did. So yeah, since you were only in the film like briefly, I wanted to ask you some questions about the house.
Absolutely, brother. Shoot away.
So, how did you go about buying the house? Are you that hardcore into Silence of the Lambs, or was this just like, oh, I have an opportunity?
No, the truth is, I mean, lifelong horror fan. I
Mhm.
mean, as I said, child of the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Grew up in the slasher heyday. So, my passionate side and my love of horror goes many decades back and always has.
Yeah.
I'll start with the classics that I grew up with, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and go down the list of,
Yeah.
the heyday of everything that was rad about the 80s. But But then, the 90s rolled around, and I was still pretty young, middle school age. And while I didn't see Silence in the theater with my dad, like I had seen so many of those slashers
Yeah.
of the 80s, I did see it on a blockbuster rental night.
Same thing with me. I joked in our Silence
Yeah.
review. This is like one of me and my mom's favorites, but I really should not be watching it with my mom at such a young age. But what are you gonna do?
Right. Well, very grateful. Very
Yeah.
little censorship in my house. I
Same.
got toted along to the Halloween movies, Predator, Die Hard,
Yeah.
Lethal Weapons, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I had a steady diet of the greatest horror and action at a young, impressionable age.
Awesome.
But one blockbuster night, it was Silence of the Lambs, and it at that point in time, even though I didn't really truthfully understand it, probably at like 11 years of age, like the deep nuances of the story itself, it was a different kind of horror tale or thriller than what I was used to,
Yes.
right? It wasn't a walk around, slice and dice, that I had.
And I mean, how could you be used to it? Manhunter bombed at the box office, so you probably didn't even know.
No idea. No idea. I mean, this was my first introduction to Hannibal Lecter.
You ever think like when this
Buffalo
came out,
Bill.
people were like, "It's one of a kind," and Michael Mann was like, "Well, no, I actually did one, but okay."
Yeah, Michael Mann, right? I mean, got his claim to fame doing Miami Vice, right?
Yeah.
Which was a massive hit
Yeah.
in the 80s, and
Yeah.
another favorite of my dad's. He was into all the the big
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
dramas of the time.
But yeah, so you got real into Silence of the
Got
Lambs.
real into Silence of the Lambs. It took multiple viewings and viewings at a later age, and you started picking out all the little nuanced details.
It's one you can grow up with and pick up more
It's
stuff.
layer upon layer.
Yeah.
It's like peeling an apple. You just keep getting underneath the skin of it, and
Yeah.
it's just like you pick up something new every time. So, the fact of the matter remains is, like when this house went for sale, which was fall of 2020, I read an article on a horror movie site on social media, and having a background in art department, that's like my livelihood of the last 20 years. I build film sets and make stuff look good, set deck and art direct and stuff. I always had the idea of passionately creating something that was my own.
Yeah.
And Buffalo Bill's house became it because I love film locations as much as everybody else in the
Yeah.
community. So
Yeah, so you bought the house. Now, did you intend for it to be this kind of like fan experience?
yeah, from the get-go.
Okay,
From
okay.
from the get-go. I mean, like, one, it's a favorite film
Yeah.
of mine for sure. But the idea of like all the cool places that you've probably visited, right?
Yeah.
Even at a younger age, like, going to California, going to the Myers house, or
Yeah, I've been there.
yeah, or going to see where Arnold jumps the Harley off the ramp in
Yeah.
T2, or the
Yeah.
stuntman, jumps it off for
And
Arnold.
thousands of people go to Heinz Field to see where I was in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, there exactly.
Yeah, I know
Pittsburgh's own.
I know it's called something else now, but
They did
yeah,
change the
they
name
all
again.
make the pilgrimage there, and they were like, Tony was somewhere in that stadium. Not exactly sure
Well,
where.
I mean, the Hack the Movies dedicated faithful, my man. I mean, God knows now that my house is in earshot. I mean, I need to make the pilgrimage and pay my respects the
So-
same way.
So it was always meant to be a fan experience.
Absolutely. Think about the list. It's a super short list of filming locations that are open to these fan experiences, right? So many are privately owned.
Yeah.
Even more have been bulldozed or gone the way of the dinosaur. Why not, savor it by creating this thing where people can experience it, live it, and ultimately share in that passionate fandom for what I consider one of the greatest movies ever made.
Now, here's a question. Because throughout the documentary, we hear about how the owners had like trouble with people over the years. Now, whoever you bought it, did you know the previous owners? Did they have stories of fans? Was this like a fan like magnet? where people-
Mecca, if you will.
Yeah, were people really coming? Because it's actually only in the movie for a little bit, really.
Right. No.
So
but-
did it draw like a big crowd? Did they have like issues or?
I wouldn't necessarily say call it issues,
Yeah.
but were people stopping by and doing the photo thing, or were they getting the random knocks on the door
Oh, okay.
during dinner time and
Yeah.
being like, "Hey, it's Buffalo Bill's house,
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs." It definitely was.
Okay.
I wouldn't say they were inundated with them based on
Yeah.
what I knew about the the interactions with them,
Mm.
but absolutely, people sought it out, went to it, wanted to photograph it, wanted to, people want to have a tangible memory of things that that make them happy, you know. And I think that's why film locations.
It's hard to think a house of a woman who was murdered by a killer that he's now sewing people's skin in
flesh
makes
suits.
people happy.
But it does.
You're like,
you know?
there it is. That's where he killed
That's
that old
it. And,
lady.
you know,
It's-
little Precious was there, and you know, poor Precious, Catherine Martin had her in the well, or she was
that's,
her.
where he tortured that woman. It makes me feel so happy.
You know, you get the warm fuzzies. You know, it's different for everybody. You know, I mean, some people it's The Notebook, other people it's Buffalo Bill's torture pit. And
So
Silence of
they
the
didn't
Lambs.
have like bad experiences, really. Just
No, I mean
Okay.
they were. I definitely didn't detect that they were negative.
Okay.
You know, they did tell me that physically filming was a very trying process for sure.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the actual act of having production in. I mean, a
Yeah.
full blown union shoot in your
Yeah.
house. Never less than 70 to 80 people, I was told, in
Yeah.
and out of that home for weeks and weeks on end in the
Mhm.
wintertime of 1990.
Yeah.
You know, I guess when you have real money, you know, and you're not making an
I was gonna
indie-
say it was really hard to set up a 3-camera shoot on my own. There.
Right, exactly. So you know, they did mention that, you know, of course the how trying that could be to deal with the
Yeah.
in and out of, you know, a small city of people, crew members in and
Yeah,
out of the
yeah.
place. But overall positive, you know. And you know, I mean, they were just ready to move on. You know,
Yeah,
they had
makes
spent
sense.
you know, I can tell you this about the house: we're actually the only the 4th owner in the home's history.
Really?
So it was built in 1910, so
Mhm.
in 100 and approaching 15 years, it's
Oof.
only changed hands 4 times. So people have really, you know, given this home a lot of love and stayed for a
Sweet,
long
sweet.
period of time.
So yeah, I guess now that you have taken over and it's become an even bigger attraction, have you had any negative experiences with people?
You know, thank God. I mean, we are literally giving you the keys to
Yeah,
our
I feel
house.
like the ones that do that are a little bit easier. But I guess how are the neighbors' reaction to this?
Great question. And I had a lot of reservations because I
Yeah.
kind of went in all guns blazing
Yeah.
and was like, we're going to do the fictional serial killer Airbnb format. Come stay in our fictional serial killer's Airbnb with a torture pit and a disco ball in the basement and
Yeah.
places to put lotion on your nipples, and it's going to be fun and freaky. But very, very thankfully, I was certainly reserved in the beginning.
Yeah.
But within a few months, you know, literally walking around, shaking hands, saying hello, letting people know, hey, here's my number. You have anything, you
Yeah.
know, something's
One of
wrong,
them
let me know.
came out and just said hi to me.
They're super nice
Yeah.
people. One of our neighbors actively has become our lawn care provider and takes
Yeah.
care of it. They're all families, you know. There's
I
one
assume that's the
business-
one I was talking to. He was on your property. I
Yeah.
don't know if I should have called the cops, but
Yeah.
he seemed friendly enough.
Yeah, that's my lawn guy. Great dude. You know, helps keep. You know, they're the kind of people who at this point, like, hey, we had a storm. There's a tree branch out, and they'll call me and let me know.
Yeah.
Or hey, you want to be aware of this? You know, the bridge is out. You know, mile down the road, so let your guests know. We have
Yeah.
a really good relationship. You know, our guests have been respectful of our neighbors,
Yeah.
and our neighbors have been respectful of our guests. So I really can't say anything.
Well, that's
poorly
good. I'm
about it.
glad because the
Yeah.
Breaking Bad lady's not having a good time.
No, she is not. Boy, man. So some of the guys in the house
Yeah.
from really she let them have it.
Yeah, but I'm like, I get that she had to build the gate because I actually, it is funny because you see the fans being like, well, I'm like, well, that is someone's home. Like, you have to be a little respectful.
Yeah.
And I get once she built the gate to get people to stop throwing pizzas on her house. I feel like it should have ended there, but to sit in your chair and just start cursing at
Yeah,
people, I'm like, now you're a problem for the neighborhood.
you know, I mean, I couldn't live with that type of negativity
Well, like,
in my
the-
soul, you know.
What she
but-
doesn't realize is that she is now no one cares about the not Buffalo Bill. Sorry, everyone cares about that. No one cares about the Breaking Bad house anymore. They just
Right.
want to go and piss off this old lady.
It's become a point of contention,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like pizzas and you know, let's see if we get into a screaming
We can't
match
do the
and-
pizza on the roof, but we can ruin an old lady's
Yeah,
day.
you know, let's go drop f-bombs at a senior citizen at the Breaking Bad house.
And I
What a
saw
game
like
plan.
the Goonies house is now like a big, more open thing, but now the neighbors aren't really thrilled about
Yeah,
it.
so I just started like communicating on social media with the guy who owns the Goonies house,
Yeah.
which is also showcased in the house from.
Mm.
You know, we've never had a chat on the phone, but like so thankful that finally that house has fallen in, you know,
Yeah.
good hands, you know,
Yeah.
fan hands, if
Yeah.
you will. But yes, I have heard the same thing even before the house from that. You know, the neighbors don't take too kindly to
Yeah.
you know the whole
I guess
Goonies
that
never say
one-
die thing.
Because you do have to go up a walkway where there's like 3 houses. I guess it could be annoying.
It looks. I've never been to the Goonies house, so
No.
I don't want to misquote it, but it definitely appears like there's no way out. It's a no outlet, dead end,
Yeah.
cul-de-sac type of vibe.
I it's
so-
not like it's on a regular street you could pass by. I see why that would be annoying. You're lucky. You're like right at the end of the street next to a train.
It's great.
Yeah.
Riverfront property. We got the gorgeous views.
Yeah.
No one bothers us. People
And,
come
like-
by and take photos.
And
We-
that's the
we
thing.
encourage
Like
it.
yours is open enough, but far away from the road that someone could just take a photo without having to
Yeah,
go there,
you
so
know.
it won't be intrusive.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been super positive.
I
for
guess
all the-
I have
all
some
of them.
questions. About,
Yeah, brother.
my
shoot,
time there.
shoot it. Shoot it.
What is the train car? Where did that come from? There's just a train car on the property.
There is. It's a chassis system caboose. Chassis was
Yeah.
obviously a monster train manufacturer.
Mhm.
So that is a 1943 model, and the family who was there during
Mm.
Silence of the Lambs bought that about 2 or 3 years after filming for their young son to be a
Yeah.
playhouse
Oh.
throughout his childhood.
Nice.
It weighs 60,000 pounds, so it's not going anywhere. People are like, oh, what are you going to do with it? But
You're like, just leave it.
yeah, right now I tell my guests you can explore it, you can have fun with it. But long term, so caboose rental is like a whole thing in the Airbnb culture. So at some point, I hope in the next couple of years, I'm able to renovate that and fully make it its own rental. So it's there. 60,000 pounds, 30 metric tons. I'm not going to.
It was fun to walk around in, but the whole time I'm like, why is this here?
Yeah, yeah. Decommissioned, bought it for scrap metal price.
I guess another question.
Yeah.
What's the story of the bus across the street at your neighbor's? Because it's also in the movie.
Yes, it is. The
And
establishing
it's
shot.
these days it's way more graffiti. But
Yeah.
yeah, what's the story with the bus?
Yeah, so it's been there for almost 50 years.
Okay.
My neighbor owns it, so we always say if you want to take pictures of the bus, please do, but be respectful
Yeah.
of the space.
Yeah.
But it was there, and he comes out. He's a Pittsburgh sports team photographer.
Oh, okay.
So he comes out and kind of hangs out by the river during the
Yeah.
warmer months, fishes and hangs out and barbecues. But loves knowing he owns the Silence Bus. I did get the full tour one day. He keeps all his
Nice.
gear in it now.
Oh, cool.
Which is cool, but it wasn't mint green, right? It was mint green in the movie,
Yeah.
which is cool. And I have offered, he hasn't taken me up on it yet, but I do want to paint that bus mint green
Oh,
again,
okay.
bring the authenticity back to it. So there's so many cool little mini cherry picked hand picked nods.
Yeah.
They're all around. Like, how could that still be there? But it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like frozen in time, and that's what I love about
It really is.
What was your favorite part of the house?
Whew,
I'm flipping the script
I'm trying to think.
on Captain Hack the
I did
Movies.
love Buffalo Bill's sewing room.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. That's the
work-
one I chose to film in.
Yeah, the
Well,
workshop.
It was the most convenient with the cameras, but I was
For
just
sure.
like, because the rest of the house, because you never actually got to see a lot of the inside of the house other than the foyer,
dining room,
room, and kitchen. That
Yep.
was it. Couldn't really fit a lot of cameras. I guess the living room, but we never saw the living room.
Right. Yeah, just a little corner spot. when you're
Ironically,
walking
the
in.
basement, which is actually not used for the film, is the one I chose to shoot because it looked the most like the
well,
film.
it's interesting because speaking to the homeowner, I learned like there were inserts done in the basement, right? And there were also full, like kind of. Well, you were there, so
Yeah.
where my laundry area is,
Yeah.
the laundry room, they had faux walls put up there and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
So there was scene shot with Jodie Foster. The stairwell was done there.
The
but
stairwell,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
and a couple of small inserts, but of course, obviously, it is not 100%. But people are disappointed when I tell them like, oh, so they left the well intact,
You're
and I'm like,
no.
no, they didn't. I wish they did, but
Yeah.
no, that was a soundstage in the Pittsburgh.
So I think that was my favorite area because you did a
That's
good
cool.
job. Although I will be nitpicky. Benjamin Rasbell's head was not in Buffalo Bill's sewing area. That was left in the storage thing. What is it doing there?
Well, a young girl from Salt Lake City, a budding special effects artist, said right when we were about to open, "I'm working on this thing. Don't want to tell you what it is,
Yeah.
but I want to mail it to you." So yeah, one day I open it up. There's a head in a jar. Poor Ben, and it just seemed the best place for it. Since I don't own the storage unit, which is your self storage, it's about 35, 40 miles from the house. I
Okay.
figured his workshop would be.
Well,
an
I will
appropriate
buy
place.
that storage unit, and I am coming for that head.
When you buy your self storage, you can have Ben Raspel's
I'm
head.
just gonna buy that unit. I'm gonna put an old car with the head.
I dig it.
I'm gonna charge $10,000 to sit in the unit
I
in
dig
the
it.
old car with the head.
I totally dig it. I mean, well, like the fans lose their minds when they get in the pit, which is
Yeah.
obviously a recreation. We never say it's the original.
Yes.
But the fact that we were able to partner with Tom Savini and his special effects school based out of Pittsburgh to create this very talented team of faculty and students
Yeah.
built that. And that school is just 20 minutes from the house.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's a real feather in the cap to complete the experience. Like I really wanted to blur the lines of reality.
Yeah.
Right, this story is being told. Right, it's a movie movie house, right? What wasn't here? The
Yeah.
pièce de résistance. It's the well. It's the
You
first.
need the well.
The
in
well
there.
had to go. It was like
Yeah.
number one with a bullet. Had to happen.
I will say my favorite thing was the clawfoot bathtub.
Oh, thank you.
I never had a bath in a clawfoot bathtub before. I'm like, this is great.
All brass faucetry too. Like all
Yes, I'm
original.
like, this is awesome. I gotta get one of these one day. My bathtub here sucks.
Yeah,
I'm like, I was
mine
jealous.
too.
Yeah,
Mine too. I got a crappy 1960 bathtub where I live, but I don't have anything as ornate as Buffalo Bill's bathroom. It's a nice place to.
I guess not to be negative. I'll
clean.
tell you some things I didn't like.
Okay.
The life-size animatronic of Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, okay,
When
in
I
the
go
foyer.
downstairs in the middle of the night for a glass of water, kept forgetting it was there. That one got me.
Did you do a little poo poo in the backside when you came down the stairs?
It is one of those things I had to keep telling myself. I'm like, it's downstairs. You're gonna see it. Don't be surprised.
Right.
Don't be surprised. And then I would turn the corner. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, god damn it! This is like the 5th time.
It gets me, dude. I put it there. It gets me when I'm there doing guided tours, and like I'm coming down at 2:00 in
Yeah.
the morning for a water break
Yeah.
or something like that, and I'm like. Or I turn the corner from the dining room and I see a 6-foot figure. It's imposing. You think you're in your house
Yeah.
by yourself, but it zings me, so don't feel
Yeah.
bad. But yes,
You need more moths.
more moths.
More moths.
More moths. Duly noted.
You need another tub with a dead lady in it.
Yeah, you're not the first person to say
Yeah.
it. Poor Mrs. Lipman. We'd love to get her
Ooh.
going. The flesh suit is also on the menu
Okay.
for getting done,
We
which
need the
should
flesh
be in
suit.
Bill's workshop.
Are we gonna have
experience.
any hints of Buffalo Bill's Nazi phase? Because that's in the movie.
No, we're gonna go ahead and pass.
Oh, we're gonna
right
pass on that
yeah,
one?
No, I'm gonna no, I'm all about authenticity as an art director. Not something I condone, and I'm sure no one
That
else
is as
does
one of the
either.
funny things about production design of that. Like they just drop hints of other phases he went through. I'm like, oh, that must have been an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
no. We like to focus on Bill's excellent wardrobe choices, his love of.
Yeah, we're not going to
fashions.
focus on that. We're going to focus on the
Yeah.
skinning women phase.
Yeah. Well, Bill's in his. If Bill was a Taylor Swift fan, he would be in his flesh suit precious era, if you will. Yeah, we're gonna jot right over that.
Yeah. But no, other than that, I had the time of my life there. I really liked it.
I
I love the
appreciate it.
game room.
Isn't that the X Factor?
Yes.
No one's expecting.
It was the most surreal experience to watch the film in the house and then go down into the kitchen and be like, Jodie Foster was just here.
and there's Bill's like 357 Colt Python
Yeah.
laying on the stove, which he had pre-placed because he knew there was going to be
He
trouble.
knew.
He
I
really
really drops the ball on being subtle. He's like, did they find anyone yet?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, Bill, you got to practice this,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
I know you're crazy, but you got to practice a little bit.
Yep.
He did not- If he had just kept his cool a little bit, he would have been fine.
Well, yeah, I think it was a lot. There was a lot of reveal.
Also,
in
why
his
did he let her
mannerisms.
in the house? He'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll grab the number. I'll be right back.
And I always took it as, I mean, this is just, I always said that whole scene is open to interpretation, but I mean, we all know where his lair is,
Yeah.
right? We knew what he wanted to do. I mean, I always took it as he wanted to get her to the basement, right?
She wasn't big enough for his plan.
Oh, no, not for necessarily a flesh shoot, just to take
Just
her
to
out
get
of
rid
the
of-
equation.
Yeah.
Just to kill her.
Yeah, I guess so.
essentially,
I guess so.
I mean,
does he not know that like FBI agents are like, hey, I'm going to this house? They're
Jodie Foster, definitely not about a size 14.
yeah, no, not at all.
For the record.
Not at all.
Not at all. Petite little lady she is.
But yeah, so I loved seeing you in this documentary.
Thank you, brother.
I'm glad we
appreciate
got to learn more during
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
And before we cut back to the live show, tell us again where we can book the Buffalo Bill House.
Yeah, so Buffalo Bill's house is in Perryopolis, PA. It's right outside of Pittsburgh. We offer overnight stays for up to 8 guests. You get the whole home to yourself. We also offer guided tours, and if you are a filmmaker, the chance for on-location filmmaking. So, and you will see some of that coming up really soon.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that. But check us out at buffalobillshouse.com for more information, and we're on all the major social media channels as well. So,
All right, back to the show. And we're back. And we're back. And we're back. We learned a lot, didn't we?
Boy, did we.
That was great,
Wow,
Tony.
that was a great interview.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We've never done a pre-recorded 20-minute interview in the middle of a live episode before.
Yeah, I dug that, man. That was really great.
Let me know if
Yeah,
you
if
guys want
I-
more pre-recorded segments. What were you going to say, Gil?
No, I was going to say, Tony, that was so great that if I were there with you now, I would definitely high-hive you just to congratulate you.
High five. No one high fives me.
A
High hive.
High hive.
Did I say hi
You
hi?
said
That's like
high
your
hive.
first word.
Me and Gil were texting like, why did he say hi hi?
Yeah, we were
No,
high
sir.
hiving each
Hold
other
on,
the
hold
whole
on.
time.
Properly
Properly introduce yourself. Properly introduce yourself right now.
Properly introducing myself.
Yes.
Chris Rowan, owner of Buffalo Bill's house, the Silence
Hold
of the
on.
Lambs film location. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, no one ever high hives me at the beginning. You motherfuckers. I said hi hive.
Dude,
You were a little
crying.
nervous. It's okay.
We were fucking crying.
We were high hiving each other this
Me
whole
at the
interview.
beginning.
Dude, I'm
Hold on. Yeah, no one ever high hives me at the beginning. All right.
Actually, I think you said hide hives.
Don't make it worse, Gil. I've already admitted that I fucked up. Don't make this worse, you asshole.
I got it. Holy shit.
Oh, you guys are giggling like fucking hyenas behind the scene. I'm like, wow, this interview's
Yeah.
going really
Then at the end, I'm
well.
like, Joey, it's wrapping up. Get ready. Come on.
I texted Gil. I was like, dude, he's gonna bring us back live, and we're gonna like not be expecting it. I'm gonna be like in my underpants or something like that. I was scared.
All right, well, what a show.
that-
Let's.
That was a great interview. And
Yeah,
that guy
right,
was
yeah.
awesome. Like, especially these people who buy these houses that are famous. They're like, all these people won't leave me alone. Like, I get it. Like, Breaking Bad house lady, like,
Yeah.
she lived there for 50 years, I think she said, before it
Yeah.
happened. So that I understand. But when you buy the house and then after that, you're like, I don't get it. Why won't these people leave me alone? It's irresponsible. But this guy,
Yeah, no.
clearly passionate,
Yeah.
and he's cool.
Well, there's a thing right now with the current owner of the Nightmare on Elm Street house. He got like fed up and he's just putting plants in the front of the house so you can't see it. And I keep meaning to do it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But you guys have been to my place. There's that one house on this block that just has 1,000,000 trees on the front.
Yeah, dude.
It doesn't. I keep wanting to take a picture in front of it, like, "Hey, I'm at the Nightmare on Elm Street house." It's just a wall of. I have a neighbor, and it's just a wall of evergreens. No other house on the block is like it. I respect it. It just doesn't fit in with everything else. All right, let's go through these super chats. We'll listen to some voicemails. Get your chats in. Psycho Jet Black for $2. Oh my god. Thoughts on the McDonald's McRib sandwich? I honestly
yeah.
cannot recall a single moment in my life where I've had one. So I have no thoughts. How about you two?
Oh boy, dude, I love McDonald's, as you can probably tell. I'm a man of fitness, right? So my dad always says, Joseph, before you get to a gym, now mind you, my dad is a bodybuilder. Joseph, before you get to a gym, eat a Big Mac or a McRib, give you some fuel for the workout. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Boy, the McRib, perfect pre-workout. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I can't wait until your metabolism runs out. I'm praying for the day. It happened early for some of us, but I'm praying for that day.
That's how I felt about my my younger brother. He eats whatever he wants. He's like, I just can't gain weight. And like I've struggled with my cholesterol my whole life. And before anyone in the chat's like, well, LDL doesn't matter anymore. It's really about ApoB. I've also struggled with ApoB. But he just eats whatever he wants. And I'm like, wait till you turn 30. And he's like, I did already. And I'm like, God damn it. Joey, what did you think of the chicken Big Mac?
Oh, dude, it was so fucking
good, right?
man. Holy shit. Wow. That was beautiful.
Okay.
Dude, I had Pizza Hut for breakfast this morning. Come on, dude.
I fucking can't. I can't with this guy anymore, Gil. I can't. J-Max for $5 Canadian. Tony, you were the kid singing at the football game in The Dark Knight Rises? No, that was, welcome back, Joey. That was the director's son. And I remember because the two elderly ladies next to me were upset that they couldn't bring their grandkids because it was adults only. And they're like, why is that kid here? And I'm like, well, they're in the movie. And I'm like, also, that's like the director's son. They're like, well, why isn't he with the mother? I'm like, because the mother is the producer on the movie.
When you
Emma
say the
Thompson
director,
is-
like, you mean Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, it's Christopher Nolan's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird that
What-
you keep saying like the director, Christopher Nolan.
Well, they didn't know the name Christopher Nolan. They didn't know.
All right.
Anyway, yes, that was Christopher Nolan's
Questionable.
son. Lenny Laserdisc for $4.99. Wild West review, but Tony cosplays as
Yeah,
Kenneth
you kind of
Branagh.
look like Dr. Lovelace. That's you just need to shave your beard in that weird fucking pattern that he does.
Am I allowed to quote him?
Fuck yes.
Oh, yeah, that's Joey
yes.
Joey's setting me up for her failure. Right? I'm getting set up for a terms of service violation if I quote.
Canceled.
It is funny if you watch that now. You're like, oh yeah, that was a summer family film, and they're
Yeah.
dropping phrases.
Real
Uh,
racist.
Psycho Jet Black for $5. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. None of this
Right.
6-gun in this. Brother running this Buffalo Soldier look. It's like I told you.
Yeah, that
literally
movie
did the wild-
fucking rocks.
He did the Wild Wild West lyrics.
Oh god, it's so good.
What the fuck is going on with all of you? Person whose name we can't pronounce. Why can't you pronounce my name?
Let me get
It's
an
not Langwedier. Langwedier?
Langwedier. I like that. I can get down with that.
Okay. $5.
Langwedier.
I think
Sorry, I
I'm
was
kinda
asking
stupid,
ChatGPT
so.
how to pronounce it. Usually, if you
Oh.
ask ChatGPT how to pronounce a name, it just tells you. For this one, I had to search the web. It was like thinking.
Psycho Jet Black for $2. Better actor, The Rock or Arnold Schwarzenegger? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Better utilized, at
Yep.
least.
Yes. Psycho Jet Black again. Better movie, Red One or Rebel Moon? I did not watch Rebel Moon. so I
Rebel
cannot
Moon.
Tell you.
If Rebel
Real-
Moon was better,
For sure.
I'm never
dude.
watching Red
Yeah.
One then.
Both Rebel Moons? Did you watch both? Which version of Rebel Moons? The regular, not theatrical, Netflix cuts or the super extended versions with slightly different takes?
I did not even know there was a fucking extended takes. for
Yeah.
that one, but-
Well, that's Zack Snyder's thing. He like conned all his idiot fans into thinking that like all his movies are perfect. We just aren't seeing the real versions. And even though Justice League Snyder Cut was like mediocre at best, it wasn't much better. They all think he has work, but they all stop talking about his movies after they air, and they go right back to restoring the Snyderverse. All these Snyder fans, they don't mention Army of the Dead at all. They all stop talking about Rebel Moon, but they're like, Zack Snyder is a hero. He's got to make Man of Steel too. I don't get it at all. No, that Rebel Moon was another one. I'm like, a two-parter? No, thank you.
It's more than a two-parter, I think. I think it's like at least a three-parter.
Well, they broke the first one in two halves.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then did extended versions of both halves with
There you
different
go.
titles. Oh my god.
Don't demean it with two-parter. It's more than that. Give it
Whatever.
credit where credit is due.
Kiryu Pilot 379 says, sorry, Tony, you're right. I totally got it wrong. See, he didn't have a baby blarp. It's the same blarp. The past blarp and the present blarp are occupying the same time. It's like in Back to the Future 2 when
Right.
Marty had to avoid the other Marty. It makes sense.
I don't get why that's so hard to understand. 379.
Psycho Jet Black. Jesus Christ. Joey C, can you teach Tony how to gently tickle the pickle as his hands are too big and he might crush someone and himself? Hashtag giant man hands. Hashtag giant forehead.
I'll wear the Grimace outfit. Wow.
Psycho
While I'm
Jet
doing it.
Black, why do you spend your money like this? I don't understand. There's
Honey, where
two
did all our
more.
money go? For a good cause, trust me. It was
Oh,
necessary.
Phantom of the Megaplex. All right, say it with me, folks. Classic. Absolute fucking classic. Mickey Rooney's in it. Good lord.
From Silent Night, Deadly Night 5?
Yeah, that's right. Gil, you were in that video, right?
That's right,
Phantom
yeah.
of the Megaplex,
There
baby.
are so many movies in my life I've watched now, thanks to knowing the two of you.
Mine are like new, like indie films that could
That's
be
true.
cult clay. He's making you watch Disney Channel shit from like 1997. At least I'm not doing that, Gil.
I
Look,
didn't
the
say it was
worst-
a negative,
The worst was Woody Woodpecker. My bad.
right, which I didn't actually watch, so it was
Yeah.
fine.
It was fucking horrible.
Guys, it was only bad because we didn't realize it was a sequel. Much like Rebel Moon Part 2, we need to see Part 1. We need to watch the Part 1 Woody Woodpecker, but the extended 4-hour cut to get
Oh,
it.
that's right.
Who's more lovable, Tony or Grimace?
Wait, asking how lovable is Tony That's like, how wet is water?
That's right. Exactly.
Thank
Grimace
you.
is lovable, but Tony is on another
Come on.
level, dude.
Thank you. Lenny Laserdisc for $1.99. Rest in peace, Sagat.
Yep.
I almost said Sagat, like the Street Fighter character, and then I realized, like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Ryan Powell for $5. Joey C, you need to do an episode of Hack the Movies while wearing the Grimace costume. of
It's true.
yours.
I do.
Is there any Grimace related? Oh, you know what you can do? We can review. You ever see the Incredible Bulk?
Yo. I
Yeah,
can wear
Gil,
that. with
Gil,
that.
you want me to really punish you? I'll make you watch Incredible Bulk. It's a purple Hulk with the worst effects. Grungy Paradigm. I have to go to YouTube to see.
Oh no, it's preferred pizza, pineapple or sardines. Or
did
better
he
pizza.
Did he forget to leave a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw it.
What were the options?
Pineapple or sardines?
I never eat with sardines, so I guess I'll go pineapple. But I don't feel strongly either way.
Definitely pineapple for me. I love pineapple on pizza. Big advocate on that.
Probably pineapple, but I love salt, and I haven't tried pizza with sardines. But my love of salt makes me think I might like that. So, TB super chat again next month. I'll report back.
Yeah.
Do you love Salt starring Angelina Jolie?
I love it. All things salt.
J Max, again for $2 Canadian. Sorry about the exchange rate. You should. You should be sorry.
Such a sweetheart.
Sorry. I imagine he did it with a Canadian accent. Sorry about the exchange rate. buddy. Movie Buff 3000 for $2. Did you give to Calico Cut Jeans? You gotta give. That is, I think you should leave reference. I don't know if you guys watch that
No.
show. I think. Oh, wait, Joey, do you watch that show?
Yeah, I watched a few episodes.
Oh,
of it,
you gotta watch
yeah.
the Calico Cut Jeans. It's pretty good. I love an I think you should leave reference. Aussie Dragoon for $5. When are you starting your Madam Web / Red One annual double feature?
Oh my
Buff?
god.
You know what's funny? The last episode this month will be what is the worst Sony Spider-Man spinoff so far? Which means I have to review Madam Web again this
God.
year, in addition to the commentary track I did with Kaylee. So that's 3 times I'm covering Madam Web this year. A movie I didn't want to talk about one time, really.
That's torture. War criminal.
I still
Go through
need.
less.
Speaking of which, thank God Venom 3 is for some reason doing well. It's still in the theaters. I still need to see it.
It's
I
doing
can't-
well. 'Cause
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I was thinking the Sony's Spider-Man universe I thought might be dead after Venom 3, and then
It's still
Craven,
making
but-
money. It's still
Wow,
hold
okay.
on. Like it might not be making as much money.
Yeah,
as
I think
the last one.
it's not doing as well as the last couple, right? But it's doing.
Yeah,
okay.
but I guess in comparison to everything else that's coming out. But yeah, I gotta see it before I see Craven. I need to be updated on this rich
All right.
Sony Spider-Man minus Spider-Man lore. Is Tony forgetting the Patreon guest? No, there's one in here. I'll have him come in. Joey C, what's the C stand for? Cool dude, roasted.
Whoa,
Thank you,
come on,
Eric
Eric
Brody.
Brady. Come
Eric
on,
Brady.
man.
Oh god, the fuzzy from my sweater got in my mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
The C stands for charisma, as my mother says. Okay, come on now.
He corrected his spelling.
That's just a sweet guy right there. I tell
You're
you.
so nice. Speaking of nice,
Oh no.
Psycho Jet Black for $2. Have you ever seen the ET adult movie parody? Psycho Jet Black, I'm gonna have to need you to be more specific.
Oh
There's
boy.
more than one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna
uh,
say I'm hoping that only exists in Psycho Jet Black's mind.
What is the one's got a funny name? I think it's there's one that I think it's called like
Your
ET
search
of-
history.
Erotic terrestrial.
Well, there's one that's like ET of vagina or something like that. It's some
Oh
weird
my
translation.
God.
I think mine was way more creative than that. Come on.
I can't speak German. What is
That's
is
what it's
this
called?
German for vagina?
Can't
Hold
speak
on.
German, but I can if you like.
Hold on. I'm looking up German translation. Translate
Ew.
German.
It's gonna be so graphic.
I like
dude.
how it's unpredictable, these super chats. Some you just breeze right by, like, yeah, okay, that's a good. Some of them though, you just Zone
I want to
in.
make sure I'm getting the title right.
This is important.
Oh no, I guess that's not it. Maybe I'm misremembering. All right. Anyone excited for Nosferatu?
Well, you skipped through that last one.
What?
Yeah, Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll circle back to it. Are you guys excited for Nosferatu?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Super excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Actually, the Beautiful Dead podcast, I covered the 70s version directed by Werner Herzog, which is really, really good. My favorite version. Will Robert Eggers dethrone it? Let's find out. And Lynx595 says, hey, Tony, can you review Little Miss Sunshine? I don't know how well that would do.
The first R-rated movie I saw as a 17-year-old on my birthday.
Really?
Yeah. I'd seen a couple before that, but this was the first one I saw where it was above board. Nobody snuck me in.
It was all tip-top shape, all legal.
Oh, yeah.
No
I told
criminal
the guy
activities.
At the counter, I was like, don't worry.
Mine was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Nice.
was an
I'll figure
interesting
out a
one.
way to do it. I feel like if I do a solo review on that, that's not going to do well. I'll figure out a way around it.
If they announce like a Little Miss Sunshine 2, you do a little
Yes.
tie-in. That'll be great.
Obviously. All right, let's bring in Lucha Steve. Mask up, Lucha Steve. There he is.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Canon Ninja
Hello,
Trilogy
hello.
for To Be Tuesday. Oh, I see you're putting in To Be Tuesday. Okay.
Hell yeah.
We're going to listen to some voicemails, but real quick, Lucha Steve, which movies on the list did you see?
Oh, well, I saw Hot Frosty. That was on the list, right?
No, that was not on the list.
Okay.
I saw Adam cover that, and I went, I'm good. I'm going to let him have that one. And I'm sure Gil is doing What is Hot Frosty Really About?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yep.
sure Joey C is doing box office battles, Jack Frost versus Hot Frosty.
That's absolutely correct. Yep. Triple header.
So did you not watch any of them, Lucha Steve?
I spent all my day watching Hot Frosty that I only had time to watch one movie because I was sick for most of November. But I did watch Cryptids, and by watch
Oh.
Cryptids, I mean I watched 70% of it because I ran out of
Nice.
time.
You ran out of time?
Had to go to Target before the stream started.
Steve,
That's
I
nice.
actually, as we were discussing it, I realized I didn't finish it. I think I also got about 70% of the way through. Because Tony was like, yeah, the end with Joe Bob Briggs, the Mothman. I was like, yeah, totally.
I mean,
Great.
That's not even. I wouldn't even consider that a spoiler because it's like it's in. Joe Bob is in Point Pleasant, so it's like the Mothman has to show up.
Oh, I missed that they were in Point Pleasant. I missed that.
So it's like if the
Yeah.
Mothman didn't show up, the movie would have failed.
That's another movie I want to revisit, the Mothman Prophecies. I saw that as a teenager, and I'm like, I thought there was going to be a Bug Man, and I'm like, this is boring. And then I think I watched it years later, and I'm like, wait, I kind of like this now. I'd like to see how it holds up now.
It's like, oh, the Mothman, he's gonna show up, he's gonna kill everybody, right? And
That's
it's
what
like,
I
oh, man.
thought. That's what I thought.
He
I was
just
Yeah.
he just tried to warn people not to go on this bridge. That's lame.
Yeah. All right, let's listen to these voicemails. Here we go. Is that going?
Nope.
Wait, were you able to hear that?
Nope.
No.
Didn't we test this earlier?
Before, though, it pulled up like a, yeah.
All right, hold on.
Huge fan of you guys.
Now can you hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony from Hack the Movies. This is Michael. I'm a huge fan of you guys. I'm really liking all the episodes I'm watching. I specifically watch all the episodes of the movies I have seen. I have to confess I haven't seen every single episode.
It looks like you lost signal there.
But, I mean, your show is the reason why I just a couple months ago finally got around to watching Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Hey! Gil, you just watched that too recently, right? You covered
Yeah.
it on your show?
Instantly became one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it's the best.
Nice. Wow, in 1 month, Megalopolis and Dracula. Francis, he got both of them for you. Well, feel free on Tuesday to watch the Fox broadcast version with us. All right, let's
Okay, Tony, you are a charismatic, funny host. I loved your episodes with Warren Soda. Johanna, you and Tony, I can understand why you guys are such best friends, and
No.
you just have so much chemistry together. Same thing with Crystal.
No.
I also love your movie dumpster episodes.
Yes.
I don't have too. I really and I especially like Sean O'Rourke on the show.
Oh, Sean's great.
I can't really think of anything else to say, but I really love your show, and Tony, I keep on. You are, along with Mario, you are the one Italian who I keep on mistaking for being Mexican. So I hope one day you could come to Massachusetts and you could maybe put on a poncho and a sombrero. A Massachusetts convention, I mean. Anyways, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Keep on talking
Fucking
about
railroaded.
Took such a turn.
That railroaded. That it was very sweet though. That's a very sweet voicemail.
I know in Super Mario Odyssey you can put on a poncho and sombrero, but that doesn't necessarily make Mario Mexican. Lucha Steve, I don't want to assume anything, but based off your name, are you Mexican?
I am actually Mexican. I was about to bring that up, and I was really offended by that voicemail message.
Do I look Mexican? Not that it's a bad thing.
Well, Tony, I'm not wearing my glasses right now, but going off my memory of your face from the countless videos I've seen of you, no.
I don't
You
look
do
Mexican.
not look Mexican at all.
I look Italian, and I look Albanian, but that's because John Belushi was
I would
Albanian.
guess Italian or Middle Eastern would be my first guess.
Yeah, well, Southern Italian, so yeah, you're not too far off there. Yeah, I don't really get Mexican too much. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Do you get Mexican, Joey?
No, dude. I don't even get Italian, and I'm like,
wait, Lucha Steve, do you ever get Italian?
So you guys can't see my face right now, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But when I have a beard, I get confused for every single brown person in existence.
That's gotta be right.
I've had people.
Just every single one of them.
I've had people come up and speak Arabic to me. I've had people come and speak up various Filipino dialects. I have not had Italian, but I've gotten Spanish at least. So that's like around there.
When I worked in TV, we filmed at this like Greek fast food place. And that was when my hair was really long. When I was in there, I'm like, wow, I look like I work here. If I was just wearing the same color uniform, I feel like I'd blend in real easily. Like, it was one of the things I just walked in. I'm like, I look like every guy in this building right now.
I feel like I'd get Greek because I also have like somewhat like curly-ish wavy hair. So it's like I'd probably get Greek if I.
Oh yeah, I have really curly hair. Fun fact. So I could totally get that.
All right, we ready for another one?
Oh yeah.
This one I labeled super cool.
Super famous movie reviewer Tony from Hack the Movies. Don't ask me how I got the number.
I gave
Found
it out
in one of your comment threads on YouTube.
So,
my name's Joe.
Don't ask how I got the number that I gave out. I got it from one of your comments on YouTube. Okay. Oh, okay.
Huge fan of the show. Had to call. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm starstruck. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate everything. And yeah, man, you are by far the coolest cat on YouTube. Later, super famous movie reviewer Tony from Hack the Movies.
I feel like he forgot my name and just added a bunch of words while he was remembering my name. Super famous movie reviewer Tony from Hack the. Okay, let's listen to this one.
That was cute.
Hey, Hack the Movies. Just want you guys to know that I love all your recent stuff. The Power Rangers thing was hilarious. Great stuff, great content.
Oh, I put this is from a few months back. This is when I put the compilation of Power Ranger episodes out.
You think about doing any Karate Kid reviews? The Cobra Kai thing's taken over last season. I think you guys got really good material. Love to see what your reviews are on the Karate Kid films, including number 4, the next Karate Kid. And just overall going over Cobra Kai. I think it's good material. I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, keep doing your thing. Love entertaining me. Please, please. Oh, and tell Mint, stop letting them hang low.
All right,
Hey,
I will forward that to Mint.
Oh my god!
And I will tell her.
Well, I just love how he
stop.
cracked himself up, like he said it.
By the way, I think I mislabeled that, so maybe the next one, because the next one says Karate Kid, and this was not labeled Karate Kid. I don't watch Cobra Kai. What the hell was that sound?
It's a good show. You should watch it.
Wait, there's an echo.
Yeah, what is the echo from?
Was that
Not
from you,
me.
Lucha Steve?
Is it?
Hello.
I-
Hello.
Hello, can
Okay,
you hear
we're
me?
good. Whatever the echo was, it's gone now.
Okay.
So Karate Kid. I'm not the biggest fan of Karate Kid. I don't watch Cobra Kai. I maybe watched 2 episodes a few weeks ago because my sister and Prison Mike, who I don't know why he was with me at my family gathering, they were watching Cobra Kai. So there's a new Karate Kid movie coming out that combines all the movies and that remake everyone forgot about with Will Smith's kid for some reason. When that comes out, I think I'm going to do a what is the best Karate Kid. I'm not going to watch Cobra Kai. They're claiming you could go into this new movie knowing nothing about Cobra Kai, but I will try to have Prism Mike there who has watched all of it.
It's going to be really weird if for people that watch Cobra Kai, if you just watch it, like none of it's a knowledge, because like a lot of crap has gone down with Johnny and Daniel.
I'm
in that
sure
show.
they'll breeze over it. Will Hillary Swank come back? That's what I want to know. She was
Hillary
the
Swank
next
hasn't even been on Cobra Kai, so
Oh, they're saving her for the last episode, I'm sure. Okay, well, this one says Karate Kid. Is this?
Hey, Hack the Movies. Just want you guys to know that I love all your recent stuff.
Same
Power
one.
Rangers thing.
Okay, it's the same one. Hold on. let me go into my downloads here. Oh, god damn it. There was one about Daredevil. While I look for that, give me 1 second. Fuck.
I have a question.
Yes, ask me a question while I'm looking up something.
What happens if you get a voicemail while you're doing a live stream? Do you just save it for next time?
I can see why you're asking that. I can see why you're asking that. I'm looking at it right now. No, I'll add some in there. Don't worry about it.
First, it has to go through the rigorous screening process.
That's right,
We'll
exactly.
see. Tony's
Okay.
like, does he say how awesome I am? Okay, this is going in.
He's reading like a transcript of all the voicemails.
Give me a second. I'm gonna throw these into the folder.
Hi.
I love as soon as you're asking me, I'm looking at the transcript and I'm like, motherfucker.
Are there multiple? What did someone else do that? I mean, I'm not saying I did that, but
Hold on, let's see what this
You
one
tried to pull that back real fast. Did someone else? I mean, not that I did that.
Hey, Tony from Hack the Movies. This is Lucha Steve.
Oh!
I'm actually in the live stream right now. I just wanted to call and tell you that you should review the Canon Ninja Trilogy for whenever you do Tuesday Tuesdays again, which I think you already did some more. So I guess you should get those started right now. Okay, bye.
Nice.
You
Does
left
sound
a
like me.
voicemail as we were listening, and that's what that echo was. You son
I was muted. Maybe I didn't mute myself. I could have sworn I muted myself. I'm sorry.
That's the brilliance of the mask, because we couldn't see your
That's
mouth
right.
moving.
I didn't see. We didn't know. All right, I think this is the last one.
Hey, Hack the Movies. I was wondering if you could do a review of Daredevil 2003. I've heard you talk about it. I want to see your full thoughts on it and see if you like it or not. Be sure to check out the director's cut of it. I hope you guys have a great day.
That's
That was
been
just
on
a
my
well
list
put
for-
together voicemail.
Yeah, that's been on my list for a really long time. And I really was saving it for my good lawyer friend, Nick Ricada. He's busy with a lot of stuff at the moment. One of 2 friends that are currently on trial and completely innocent. So I'm saving Daredevil a little while longer. Let's see how that outcome turns out. And depending on that, I'll figure out if I'm going to review it sooner rather than later. But yes, I would like to talk about Daredevil 2003. The extended cut is not much better. Okay, we got 2. I know we got a few more super chats here. Adam does movies for $9.99.
Adam!
Love you guys. I'm planning on doing the wrap up on a Saturday, so it's not too close to Christmas because I didn't want to do it the day after Christmas. That would suck. If that's good with you guys, Adam, if you're still in the chat, if that works, I would love to have you on the end of your wrap up. It's always fun when you're on.
Also, Adam, he used to invite me to his live streams, but I think I said no too many times, and then he just stopped. But it's always like he asked me the day of, and I was really busy. I would still love to be on, so and I'd be honored if he would ask me again at some point.
No, I'm always on those streams, and I say, Adam, it's great to fill in for Gil again. And then I bring up the Planet of the Apes episode that we didn't do together. Aussie Dragoon, I don't really do that, Gil. Aussie Dragoon for $5. Lacey Chabert is going to be disappointed you missed her in Hot Frosty, Tony. I'm sorry. I think Lacey Chabert will do just fine with me not watching her Christmas movie. I haven't watched any of them for more than 5 seconds. Feliz Navidad, Tony. Thank you. Did I say that good, Lucha Steve?
That's nice.
I had an ex-girlfriend whose very white grandmother tried to say it because her grandkid was Hispanic, and she typed it on Facebook, but she wrote Felix Navindad. And for like a year, I would just keep I kept singing Felix Navindad. Felix Navindad, it like stuck in my head. She didn't bother to spell check it. Like, look, she's like, yeah, Felix Navindad.
Say, hi, Tony.
That was the best.
You know,
By the way, do you need translation?
Yes, can you translate that?
Yeah, it means Merry Christmas.
Oh, I had no idea. I shouldn't be singing in July? Is that what you're telling me? I know Christmas in July. That joke ruined itself.
Yeah, you could have picked any other month.
I know.
Any
I
other
picked
month.
the worst month. Anyway, Gil, what do you got going on?
I'm working on the Alien versus Predator timeline. So I'm taking my Alien timeline and doubling up, figuring out how to integrate all that stuff. And some more fun stuff on the way. But that's the one I'm working on now.
Oh. Joey C., what do you got going on?
If you want to watch a video of me explaining why Sandy is dead in Grease 1, I got a video about that. And if you want to see me examine the quality of restaurants or the quality of housing in popular video games, shoot on over to youtube.com/officialjoeyc. A lot of fun stuff over there, folks.
You should do the house from, but for video games. But it's like they just give you like the hard drives that the games are stored on. And you're like, wow, it's Grand Theft Auto. It's just like a hard drive.
Yeah.
All these people keep trying to come and look at it. It's so annoying.
Look
Throw
at
a
my
pizza on my hard drive.
I'm looking at my Western Digital hard drive. Like, yep, that's it. That's it's Peach's Castle in there. Lucha Steve, what do you got going on other than trying to get me to review the Canon Ninja trilogy for 2B Tuesdays?
Currently, all I got going on is I am driving around my county looking for G.I. Joe figures.
Nice.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Ask me again what I'm doing next month, and hopefully I have stuff uploaded to my new channel. Finally, Jesus.
Oh, fun. Everyone
yeah.
check that out. I do see Adam in the chat. If you say no once, it's over. Sorry. Gil.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also waiting for my invite. Invite to what?
I guess I don't really do. I'll invite him to the podcast. I mean, Tony, you've been the only guest so far.
Well, you got to go big. You got to start off big. I should be good for the end of the year wrap up, T-Bone. Hack the movie. Thank you. All right, that is it for me. I did enough plugging this episode. Check out all that fun stuff. Yeah, one more month of 2024. It's exciting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
What a year.
Yeah.
What
a year.
Yeah, that's it from us. Goodbye. Gonna end the